Oh, what has a control? Oh, Meredith. He was always going to gun Meredith. Shot off target though. Oh, holy shoot. Oh, well done.
Yeah, ball. Well done. You got to touch him. Hey, Reece, plenty of time. Get him going, eh? It takes one. Hey, you take a touch. Hold down when it gets low. You rush him just as much as you kick it. Half and half. Just goes that way. Go short. Right.
Off you go, Sammy.
What happens, what turns off, you can't change it. You just have to use this, okay? Whack that on there like that. Okay? So 180 minutes. You're right. 12:40. It should be fine. It's recording now, but this is not the game. So, yeah. What do you think this is the game?
No, I just thought it was recording.
Okay.
I didn't guess.
Okay. So, yeah, the 12 and 21 minutes. So, so just remember, if you've got trails, you won't have time to knock it out, just slide that on there and flip it out. So. So you need to try and get it half time. You get the half time?
Where's the button? The button.
Alright?
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Warrior Park, home of the champions Olympia FC Warriors for today's Round 2 PS4 National Premier League's Tasmania match between the champions Olympia and Devonport Strikers. I'm Damian Gill from FFT, bringing this one live to you with my good mate Andrew Cooling by my side. How are you, Drewy?
Good, thanks, mates. Good to be reunited after your little week off last week and back in the box with you for another season here, Gilly.
Hardly a week off, I can tell you what. I was working hard.
That's what you say.
And I was chasing balls.
That's all I saw.
Tell you what,
from
match managers, undervalued. My appreciation of them has certainly risen. A lot of hard work last week, and I think I started the day with like maybe eight balls. I think I ended with at 4, so it's probably not my ideal role. I'm much more suited to sitting up here with your good self for what should be an absolute humdinger of a clash between Olympia, who you got to say didn't have their greatest game last weekend. I think to use the coach Glenn McNeil's own words, they were embarrassed by South Hobart.
They certainly were, shipping 6 to South. It's not an ideal way to start the season. They were a bit of a mess at the back. Spiros Paradises, Sierra and Amir in goals, but a lot more problems than just the goalkeeping areas. They really looked completely out of sorts. They weren't on the same page as each other, and that's probably to be expected with the massive overhaul that the squad's had. A lot of players leaving, a lot of new players coming in. We'll get to the team lineup shortly, but certainly maybe early in the season, and you're not going to overreact, because I remember them copying a 3-0 drubbing at the hands of Zebras early last season. Everyone was already writing them off, so you'd be foolish to do so. But they'll certainly want to get 3 points today. They wouldn't want to be dropping, obviously, South Hobart, you'd say a winnable fixture against Kingborough. You wouldn't want to be 6 points behind them after 2 weeks.
No, you're exactly right, Drewy. I think they'll be coming out breathing fire today. They'll have a real point to prove. After an underwhelming performance last week, it was really billed as a massive clash between the top 2 from last year. And Olympia, a lot of boom recruits and big names into the lineup, and they just didn't quite reach expectation last week. And Glenn McNeil during the week said there's been some honest conversations within the 4 walls of the club. Some of their new players just more or less being let known how Olympia works, and pretty much told they need to buy into the culture and do the things that everyone else does around the place. So I think that's it's not a bad thing. I think if it's going to happen, round 1's not a bad time for it to happen. They can have those honest conversations and be all geared up and ready to go for round 2, and hopefully things just snowball from there, Drewy.
Yeah, well, they say a week is a long time in football, so we'll see if things have changed, but they're certainly all over the place, and they face a pretty stern test against everyone's favourite smoky, the Devonport Strikers. They've got a very impressive squad together this year. I know you've certainly bought into it. You're very high on their chances, and they'll give Olympia a real test on their home patch here this afternoon, you'd think.
They wanted to be the sleeping giants and just not noticed at all. They wanted to just fly under the radar, very much is Peter Saville's style. Unfortunately, there's starting to be a fair bit of noise about them, because if you look at their squad on paper, it is pretty fearsome.
It is. It's a very talented one. Perhaps the big example of that is we've seen young Smith, the fullback. He's been dropped, and we had him in the team of the week last week, I think, Gilly. Yeah,
a bit embarrassing for us. I thought he had a very good game, but I think this is a real strategic move from the wily fox that is Peter Saville. He's going with just big, stern warriors at the back to take on the Warriors. Of course, Olympia possess really fine attacking players, and I think he's just gone for his best defenders.
Yeah, I think you might be right with that. Smith certainly offered a lot going forwards, but Saville, well, clearly showing he's not afraid to make bold calls early on, and I suppose you'd prefer that in a manager, rather than someone who goes, oh, I'd like to play someone else, but he was so good last week, so I can't drop him. He said, no, I'll make the call. But yeah, Smith, very stiff, because he really was outstanding against Clarence. But Olympia, as you say, do present a very different challenge. We know Clarence got there at KG5 last week, and they pretty well parked the bus for 90 minutes. Very defensive in the way they set up. Olympia are going to be coming at them hard. They're going to be looking to push the tempo throw a lot more bodies forward than Clarence did, so I don't think we can read too much into last week's game for Devonport because it's just going to be an entirely different battle today.
What we can read into it, Drewy, is that they came to Hobart, didn't play their best and still collected 3 points, which probably wouldn't happen in previous years. So I think that's growth from the Devonport Strikers' perspective, and I think they all knew they didn't really show what they're made of last week, and they'll be looking to do that up against the champions in Olympia today. Of course, last time Devonport came down to the hallowed plastic that is Warrior Park, it was a big day for the Warriors that saw them claim the title, the first one in many, many years. So Olympia will be looking to maybe take some energy from that and match up another really strong performance, because of course last year they were very, very good against Devonport, got the job done and collected the silverware. So we're looking to get on to winning ways, and they've got some big names in that lineup that can certainly help them, Drewy.
Yeah, certainly the big boom recruits, Bulwar Sam set the ball rolling there, Lawrence Sharuma, Zachary Drake, they've invested. They've obviously got the likes of Hoy from last year. It's obviously going to take some time for it all to click, for them to gel. I think that's what we saw last week. They weren't on the same page as each other. But quality players tend to shine through eventually, and, well, I'm not sure that enough will change in a week, but I think work rate is something that could certainly improve. I'm not sure all the players were really out there working for each other last week. Sharuma, I thought, was fantastic in that regard, but I'm not sure a lot of his teammates can say the same. There are a few players not quite tracking back, and I think McNeil will certainly be asking for a lot more of that today. Indeed, they're going to have to, because, as we've said, Devonport are going to give them a real stern test.
Let's be honest, Drewster, McNeil put him under the microscope post-game straight after it, high on emotion, and he was pretty clear-cut in what he was saying. Some of the behaviour and some of the efforts weren't good enough. It was embarrassing, and it's not what he wanted to see from the club. I think when asked to name performances he was happy with, he struggled to name anyone. But one, he did say he quite liked the performance of Zach Drake, and I thought maybe Zach was a shining light for Olympia on a real drab night that it was. I thought he was pretty good at fullback, so he's one good performance, but a lot of them have to lift their heads and pull something out today.
Well, the defence for Olympia is an interesting one. Drake, obviously, we nailed in for that right-back spot. We're a little unsure how they'll line up today. Will the Nick Mearns experiment continue at centre-back? Had a tough time of it last week. Darcy Hall, in particular, just burnt him off for one goal. Do you put Collard back there is going to be the question. I'm sure McNeil has been playing over all week. Obviously, he loves Collard and what he brings to the team. He's a class above, I think he described him as. Wanted him in the midfield for that reason. But Mearns, he didn't look particularly comfortable at centre-half last week. Obviously, it's just one game, but I think the temptation to put him back into that central midfield role where he and Hickey were so outstanding together all of last season is something we might see today, but it'll be interesting. Obviously, Lehman has been dropped for Callan as the other fullback, and I think that's understandably was burnt off as Mearns was a few times by Darcy Hall. Galby Lazinski was giving him all sorts of headaches, and of course the midfield were just completely overrun. Nick Morton was just in pockets of space all game long, and I think they definitely fundamentally need to make some big changes in the middle of the park from how they were setting up last week. And I think Collard to centre back might be one we see.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Let's get to the lineups, Drewster. We'll start with the champions, Olympia. Their starting lineup, number 18, Jack Callan. You mentioned he's come in for Jacob Lehman, who we just saw turn out for the Challenge League team. Callan scored a brace last weekend at full back, so obviously rewarded for good form, and into the lineup he goes. We saw he played very, very well last year up against James Sherman in the Victory Cup final. He was exceptional. Jacob Collard, number 9. Again, a frustration of yours, Drewster. A number 9 on the back of someone that is not going to be playing striker.
Yeah, at least I will say it for the number 9s who aren't in Walsh and Collard. They've already scored Thunderbolts, so perhaps they get away with it because they can shoot from long range. But yeah, none of that. Not happy with it.
The Canadian Zach Drake. He's number 2. He's starting today. Shea Hickey, number 4, one of our favourites. Getting Hickey with it. He's starting in midfield. You'd suspect alongside Nick Mearns, number 6. Will he play defence? Will he play midfield? We flirted with that idea before, Drewster. I'd like to see him go back into midfield. I really would. We saw late on in the game they sort of pushed him up a little bit. He scored a goal and he looked a lot more natural in that position. It suited him a hell of a lot more. And we saw he dominated last year. The Hickey and Mearns partnership was terrific. So
Best in the league, that pairing.
Absolutely. So hopefully that continues. Gavin Hoy also started for number 14. Will he play number 9? We've seen him play as that more central target man, or will he operate out wide? It'll be interesting to see how that one works. Spiro Paradisus starting, Brewster. Number 21. He's starting the sticks, which is really interesting because their goalkeeper, Pascal Geoffrey, I'm guessing that's how you say it. That's how I'm saying it. Is available. He's recovered from illness, but isn't starting. So you wonder maybe he's just not 100% yet, or whether they want to just back in Paradisus to turn it round after a real dog of a night last week.
Yeah, I think as a goalie, he's just got to try and forget about that one and move on. Obviously not his best day, but he showed in the back half of last year when he had to come in for Lewis, who was injured. But he is capable at this level. Last week, yeah, his distribution was really poor. He had a mare, but he was certainly be looking to bounce back. And it's a tough position mentally, goalkeeper. So McNeil giving him a vote of confidence, perhaps, and hopefully he'll seize the chance today.
Borbor Sam starting, of course, wearing number 10 on his back. He's an enigmatic figure, is Borbor Sam. We didn't see the best of him last week. He'd be wanting to dish something today and prove a few people wrong that have had some words to say about the great man, but I'd expect he'll have fireworks for us today here at Warrior Park. Lawrence Sharuma, of course, he's a fellow Western Australian. He worked his socks off last week. He didn't have the best game, but you can't say he didn't try. He worked hard, ran all day. Number 11 for the Warriors. The skipper, Jake Vandermeer, number 8, and Warren Wadawu, number 7, rounds out their starting 11 with Thomas Bellini, Aidan Farquhar, Pascal Geoffrey, and Joel Samet on the bench. On to the Devonport strikers, Drewster. We had their team sheet somewhere. I think the Great Road Scholars just
Snavel that one up.
Going to pass it down. So we'll go through that. I'll let you do the honours.
Well, I'm actually going to tap in our local expert from the Northwest, Jago, for his media debut. We're going to throw him in the hot seat. He's the expert. I figure he can run through the team nicely, so take it away.
Yeah, cheers, thank you. Alright, so I reckon it'll be starting in goal will be Nico Giantzopoulos. I can't pronounce his last name.
Nicky J. I think it's Giantzopoulos.
Oh, thank you. Starting out of right back, I believe will be Bradley Chilcott. In the centre with him will be Joe. In the centre, will be Joe Zupo with where is he? Nathan Grattan. Starting out of left back, instead of Dom Smith, will be Miles Barnard. At 6 or CDM, whichever you prefer, will be Daniel Sison with Joel Stone and Bo Blizzard playing out of 10. Right wing will be Adam Gorey. Braden Mann will be playing up front with Brody Dennehy starting at left wing.
Tremendous debut there, Adam.
Loving your work.
I'm just going to pull this sheet across and just have a look.
He's got the big shoes to fill. Obviously, Nico has moved on from the commentary box now, just strolling down the sideline these days as the assistant coach.
He is, and he doesn't mind his own work. I'm just watching him operate there at the top of the box. He's trying to get involved with some footwork. Very ordinary stuff. Early days from Big Nico. One change from what you mentioned, Adam. The team sheet is confusing. Rocket Andrews has stitched us up a little bit by crossing people off in both columns, but Bradley Chilcott isn't starting, so I think in his place we'll see Kieran Mulroney. So he's back in the starting lineup. He wasn't there last week. All good, mate. So that back four, my first instinct is very solid defensively, but not offering a lot in terms of overlap running.
Yeah, they're probably going to try and make it a compact game. Sit back. As we said, Smith was outstanding last week with his overlapping play, but I suppose when you've got the threat of Sharuma, Borbor Sam, Wadawu, you want to be solid first and foremost at the back, and the Warriors certainly they're going to be pushing a bit harder for the win, you'd imagine, throwing bodies forward, and maybe the Savers just thought we'll absorb, and then look to hit them back the other way. They might play a bit more direct. They've got some talented players up top. Blizzard's really come into his own, I think, in the last 12 months as a real emerging star of this league. Braden Mann, of course, a big recruit up top.
Scores for fun, doesn't he,
He
Braden
does.
Mann? Scores the crap ones, scores the screamers, just scores.
Yep.
He just scores.
As did Dennehy last week. Scored a brace in the space of 3 minutes. They really flicked the switch. It was a strange game against Clarence. They did a pretty good job, you'd have to say, the league newcomers, for large parts of that game in kind of nullifying the Devonport threat. They were very compact and organised in defence, but just in the space of a couple of minutes, Devonport really turned it on. A couple of silky moves in and around the box, and the game was sealed after about 20 minutes, essentially.
It was indeed. Devonport, of course, got to be really rapt that Braden Mann's back on the scene, but I think Brodie Dennehy will be a major benefactor from having Braden Mann there. Less attention. I just think less attention, better service. He won't know himself out on that wing. I think he'll score a lot of goals this season. I think with the defence they got, you're not going to see them trying to play out. They're going to play long. They're going to play direct to their height, and they're very strong. They're big builded fellas, Devonport strikers line up, and it's going to be a contrasting style against Olympia. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out. I think the small pitch of Warrior Park quite suits the style, and I think Devonport are in up to their eyeballs in this one. I think they're a real red hot show to push the champions, who have currently sitting in unfamiliar territory down the lower end of the table. I know a few Clarence fans reminded me that they're above Olympia at this point in time. They probably won't want to look at the ladder later on in things, but I didn't mind it from the Clarence fans. I thought it was quite humorous. But Olympia will be looking to get back in the winner's circle this week, but it won't come easy, Drew.
No, I don't think it would be, and yeah, I suppose Clarence have got to get their licks in while they can, but I'm not sure that trash talking Olympia is particularly smart on their behalf, but it's fair to say there's not a lot of love lost between those two Eastern Shore rivals, and we're looking forward to that being in the league this year. The derby, always an entertaining contest, even with, you'd have to say, Olympia being, they'll be overwhelming favourites when that does occur. But today's opponents are Devonport, and we're really looking forward to this clash. I know you're keen on Devonport. I think it'll be tight, but I'm just going to back Olympia just to gel, just to mould, and I'm going to go 3-2
to the Warriors. I'm going to go with the Strikers. I'm going to tip them here. 2-1. Peter Saville to get another win. It would be a big win. I tell you what, it sends shockwaves through the comp if it does happen. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a draw, though. I think it's going to be a tight one, no matter what happens. We are looking forward to this game in a big way, but I was looking forward to it about 15 minutes ago. It was a slightly delayed kickoff, yeah. Neither team looks in too much of a hurry.
Certainly Marcus in no hurry to get things going. He's just in his element, strolling around the pitch with a very loud hat, just announcing to the world on his microphone what's going on. He is the king of this place.
Absolutely. He's an operator. He does it wonderfully, you got to say. Strolls around, gets the voice of the people. He's very, very good. Look through a few of the danger men for today's game, Drewster. For Devonport, Stone and Mann are two of the big ones. Stone last week showed flashes of what makes him such a great player, creative force. And Mann, of course, as I said before, just scores when he wants. He probably didn't have his best game last week, so it's not too often Braden Mann has two ordinary games in a row, so that doesn't present a great opportunity for Olympia from that regard. But on the flip side of things, Olympia, well, they've got danger men across the board, don't they?
Yes, it's an exciting and explosive lineup they've got, but the cohesion wasn't there, and whilst it looks very good on paper, games are not won on paper. They're won on that big green pitch out in front of us, and they're going to want to play together a lot better than they did last week. Yeah, and Braden Mann, as you said, probably not his best game last week. I actually thought Hallard, the centre-back for Clarence, had a really good game for them. I thought he kept him pretty well under wraps.
Oh, great.
I think Mann will certainly be looking to bounce back, but obviously there are a lot of numbers back at all times last week for Clarence. I think there might be a bit more space to work in for the likes of Blizzard, for the likes of Man. They won't have 4 men surrounding them every time they touch the ball near the opposition box. So I think they'll thrive in that, and they'll be a real threat, particularly as if we expect they do play that direct style of game onto Braden Mann's head. He's duel, I suppose, with Vandermeer. I'd imagine we'll be trying to track him for most of the day. Will be fascinating to see how that unfolds, because he is a real force in the air. That's another area where if they do play Mearns at centre half, you'd fancy Braden in the air to win that one.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You would fancy him. I just think Braden Mann's going to slot a couple today. I think he's going to find the back of the net. He needs to catch up, because there were quite a few goal scorers last week. Luke Hoogsluke hit a hat-trick, and a couple of South Hobart players got on the score sheet. So he loves the golden boot. He's had his name on it the last 3 years. I reckon he'd want that to continue, so he'll be out for goals today. And as it looks like we might be finally getting underway, an update from across the river. KG5, half an hour gone, and Kurt Engels has opened the scoring for the Hobart Zebras. They lead their sister club, Launceston City, 1-0, and it's a fascinating encounter as well. Launceston City look very good, albeit a young squad, and Zebras probably bigger bodied and probably more ready in terms of to take on the top teams. But Launceston City really on the improve. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Mitsubishi Park.
Yeah, Kurt Engels with the goal there, obviously. I think he's primed for a big year. He had a few injury troubles at times last year. If he can stay on the park, that would be huge for them. I liked what I saw from him. Obviously, they've got another import on the other wing. Hearing about the 4-4-2 over there last week was Chris A. Didn't mind it. I've seen a lot of that in modern football with the 4-3-3 all the way, but thought they looked pretty threatening. And certainly, along with these two teams in South Hobart, probably the favoured 4 with most pundits who'd have thought to be up there when the whips are cracking.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Devonport, to be honest, they've turned it around from a squad perspective. You look, they finished second last year. They had a really ordinary time of it, and they've just picked up good local talent. They got back Mann, they got back Stone. They're 2 huge inclusions alone. And then they've complemented them well with their visa players. They've got a good goalkeeper in Nico Giansopoulos, someone that Tom Pearce will be able to learn from. And then Joe Zupo at the back, who is just massive. He's a very big individual, and a bit of a daunting frame on him, so it'll be tough for opposition teams to break him down. After George Mamarcus has just announced, let's get ready to rumble, I think. Yeah. Something of that regard. We are about to get underway, Drewster. We are, and interesting to see Mearns is playing in midfield with Collard shifted to centre-back. So as we suggested, that could be something in the offing, and McNeil has pulled that trigger as we are finally underway here. Boy plays it to Mearns, and immediately they look to press hard. Man, threatening to force a turnover in a dangerous area. Vandermeer just hacks it out of there. Hoy forced to act as a target man. He's not really a natural at that role. There's Syson fights in there, and here come Devonport. They've got Dennehy. He's a nice little 1-2 with Stone, but heavy touch and it goes out of play. So, yep, as we thought, Collard to centre-back. Do you like that move then, Gilly? Yeah, definitely. Mearns, it's natural in midfield. It's where he belongs, I think, and it's where he dominated last year, so it's good to see. And Collard, naturally a defender, obviously a ball-playing defender. Very, very good in midfield, but I think he'll do a superb job at the back alongside the skipper in Vandermeer. Throw now for Olympia. Comes along from Drake. And it's headed out by Mulroney. As Olympia gains some yardage. Drake again down the line. Ball Sam comes in. He's met by Gorry. He manages to squeeze it out. Finds Drake. Back for Vandermeer. Finds Paradisus. Probably has a point to prove himself. It's not a great start for Paradisus as he fires it straight into Dennehy. Dennehy doesn't make him pay. It's a shocker of a ball. Comes back to him though. He goes into Smith. Smith, there must have been a late change because Smith has started for Devonport. It looks like Barnard probably hasn't got through the warm-up as well as expected. So Smith starting for Devonport. That must have been a very, very late change. He does well here to Smith. Keeps it alive. Puts it into the middle. Stone over the top. He looks. It's cut off by Cullen. Screams of handball. None coming from Copra in the middle. From Wadawu. Finds Mearns. Measures a pass, and it's long and strong, but straight to the red-headed Gorry. Forward for Mann, who gives and goes, as he often does. Drake does the same for Olympia and runs the other way. A dashing run from Drake. Cut off from Mulroney. In for Gorry, and it's deflected out of play for a Devonport throw in.
Nearly a disastrous start. Paradisus, he had trouble with his distribution last week, and he's got into trouble very early here. Almost made to pay there. Not an ideal start, not what you'd want from your keeper. As we see Bulbor Sam charging in the box, he goes down, and the referee points straight to the spot. Bulbor Sam charged into the box, clipped. We'll have a look at the replay. Seems straightforward to me, but we'll see what the replay says. But Copra, with no hesitation in pointing to the spot, a chance to open the scoring. Well, I think he stuck out a leg, and Sam has just went, well, I can draw the contact there and go charging to the deck. And he's done just that, and he'll look to finish it. He left the leg dangling, and that's always the danger when you do that as a defender.
Looked a penalty for me.
Yep.
Can't have too many arguments if you leave it hanging out there like that, unfortunately. Bulbor Sam to step up. Be his first goal in the NPL anyway. He scored in the Summer Cup. So he steps up. Be a good start, especially after the poor game last week. Sam fires in the bottom left, and Olympia have opened here at Warrior Park. 1-0 to the reigning champions, some 4 minutes in. Not a good start for Devonport.
No, not the start they were after, particularly if they're going to play a slightly more defensive game. They're going to have to chase things a bit more, and they've made a promising start in the opening couple of minutes. It's their first real foray forward with any impetus at all for the Warriors, and Sam goes down, wins the penalty, and finishes it off very tidily. But that's not the start Devonport wanted, and it's exactly what Olympia needed after last week. They'd love to get out early to a lead, build some confidence. The longer it goes on, the more doubts they're going to have. So a real settler there early for the Warriors, and you've got to say, just a disastrous start here for Devonport.
Yeah, I saw Grattan as he was wandering back to his position after the goal. As it comes through, Dennehy, one-on-one. Oh, fires straight into Paradisus. Should have been a goal for Devonport. I tell you what, it could have been 1-1 just like that, Drewster, as Collard cuts it off. They try and get it out, but I tell you what, they're swarming in numbers at Devonport. Those yellow shirts just all around them at the moment, Olympia. Collard under pressure as man comes in, gets a piece of him. He might just enter the book. No, just a conversation. Dennehy, I tell you what, just could have made this 1-1. But he's almost nutmegged Paradisus, but just caught a piece of him on the way through.
Yeah, tried to slide it through the old 5-hole, but Paradisus did well. Shut that gap off, and in the end, you've got to say, well played by the keeper, coming off a tough game last week, and that'll give him some confidence. Either side of him, it's probably 1-0, and really noticeable the intensity of the press as Braden was very late there. A wild hack at Sam. That's an easy slice of cheese to be dished out there from Copper. That was very ordinary from down there, and a bit of afters. The Olympia boys not too happy with that, but
I don't think that was a strategic tackle, but I tell you what, that has rattled Olympia.
yeah, he is.
He's really got under their skin with one foul swoop, pun intended. I tell you what, it was a shocker for man, an absolute shocker, but
He's had a wild swing at the ball, completely missed that, and then buried the shoulder into him. It was fairly agricultural, shall we say, from Braden Mann. But I think if that just throws Olympia off their game, maybe it'll be worth it.
I reckon Peter Saville would have said, go out there and let them know you're here, and I reckon that's exactly what Braden Mann's done. He's into the book, though, so he's going to have to tread carefully.
Well, they've been buzzing about with this press. All 4 players advanced, as we see the free kick coming into Hoy, but he's never going to win that header. I think it's the man mountain on the back there. A fair size advantage these centre halves for Devonport have over Gavin Hoy, so I think the Warriors will be much better suited playing feet than trying to put it on the head of the Canadian.
Big Zupo at the back. He's a tall figure, and then you've got no real relief because to his left, he's got Grattan, and to his right, you've got Mulroney at fullback, who's pretty physically imposing himself. So Collard on the ball here. It's 1-0 to Olympia. Could have easily been 1-1 though. Dennehy having his shot blocked by Paradisus. Comes wide through Vandermeet to Drake. It's run on well. It's there for Sharuma. He can't quite track it down. As he awarded a free kick. Fairly soft one from the naked eye. Might be a throw in. No, it's a free kick.
Yeah, very soft one there, and presents a real chance here. Olympia, for all their struggles last week, all 3 of their goals came from set pieces, I believe. They certainly showed a real ability to cause problems with the delivery into the box, but as we said, some real size in this Devonport defence. Dennehy looks to charge away down the left, but Wadawa's there to cover. And he sees it out of play, and in the end,
it's a free kick. Yeah, he drew a foul from Dennehy.
No, throw in.
No throw in. Callan in, receives back. Just kicks it out off Dennehy and gains a couple of metres. Callan here. Throw it in. Down the line he goes. Finds Hoy and finds with Darwood. Eases about. Back for Sharuma. Unfortunately, the line beats him and it's out for another throw in. Smith strolls over to throw this one. Down the line it goes. It's out man. Does well to get by one. Can't quite navigate his way around Mearns. It's heaved forward and cut off by Olympia. It's Paradisus straight to Dennehy again. His distribution again found wanting. They stroll away though, Olympia through Callan. He looks for Sharuma. Grattan first to it. He almost gives the neighbours a free ball.
I reckon it's in his head now, Paradisus. His distribution wasn't that poor last year, and every time there's a hint of a back pass, they are swarming on him, these Devonport forwards, really putting the pressure. Clearly tactics from Saville wants them really pressuring him, and it's already forced a couple of turnovers. It's something they're certainly going to look to capitalise on, and so far succeeding. It's carried on a bit from last week with Paradisus. The ball was chipped forward. Won't be able to find Dennehy though. Will come out the other way for Sharuma. Plays in Hoy, who goes down, but the referee says play on. Here's Gorry sliding it through, but the captain Vandermeer was there to cut it out, and now he feeds Ball Sam. Shimmies inside. Man was across the cover, so he retreats back to Mearns. Sorry, Hickey who finds Mearns. And in the end, again, they're forced backwards. Some nice work there though from Callan. Here's Hoy, back to Vandermeer. Olympia patient. Vandermeer again will go back to Paradisus, and you can be sure man will be closing him down, but this time no real pressure to force a turnover as they go straight down to the overlapping Zachary Drake. What can he do here, Drake? He turns into the corner. Still got it. Goes down. Gorry eventually hacks it out. That'll be a throw in.
We're having some issues with our vision at the moment, so we'll keep talking you through it.
Unfortunately, the ball's in a corner we can't actually see, so our picture's about as good as yours at the moment. Ball Sam has got it. He's toying with Sison there, and I think he's won a corner, has he? No. It's going to be Devonport's ball. Throw in deep in their own territory here. We do apologise for the technical difficulties here at Warrior Park. So the ball inside the area, just outside for Hoy, but there's enough yellow shirts back there to repel. Collard now, about 40 yards out in the middle of the park. Diagonal through ball for Sam. What can Ball do? He looks to run at Mulroney. Looks to get inside, and he's done so. Cuts it back for Sharuma. Getting across to cover there was Big Grattan, I think.
Yep, was Grattan. He's put it straight out of play. Throw in for Collard. He picks out a man long out to the right to perfection. It's with Dawu. Just nudges one in Callan's path. Bursts in, surrounded by yellow shirts. Does well to win the Warriors a corner, and it'll be swung in from the right-hand side. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Our man Ash out there just trying to sort things out.
Dawu crosses to the back post. Vandermeer's there. He heads it back, but couldn't get in behind it enough, and it sails harmlessly behind for a goal kick. Just overhit that ball there. Vandermeer had crept off a yard at the back post and was on his own, but delivery not quite up to standard. So goal kick from our man Nicky G in goals. Giansopoulos, I think we've decided it's pronounced, but hasn't really had to do a whole lot. Had the penalty, which he couldn't get to, and apart from that, a lot of chances early in this one as Hickey goes up and wins the ball. Here's Shiruma, surrounded by yellow shirts, and does well to keep hold of the ball and retreat to Drake. Drake plays it to Collard. From the back, he goes with a long ball, searching outwards Awu, who's now about to cross one into the box. Hoy was there, but again, well defended. Devonport back full holding out. It was a lovely ball to play in with Dawu. 40 yards downfield, picked him out. Another chance as we get vision back.
Vision back, we've got it. It's great. Luckily we haven't had a goal, so you haven't missed too much.
Shiruma back towards Dawu. Lining with Shiruma, again they put it out of play, and again it'll be an Olympia throw. Starting to get on top of the Warriors, probing in dangerous areas. Dawu is looking for Bulbul Sam. Got Blizzard for company. Passes back to Shiruma. He'll go all the way back. In the end, they'll play it to Vandermeer in the middle of the park. Zachary Drake, his touch was heavy, almost let him man, had to recover, and then plays an ambitious crossfield ball, which was nearly cut out by Denner. Living on the edge at the back here, Olympia, but they've done well to retain possession. Collard now to Hoy. Hoy thought he was fouled, but play on. Header one there by Big Zupo. Now Grattan, I apologise, Big Zupo. There's about 4 metres between them. Giants, here's Braden Mann. Looks to play in Adam Gorry charging down the right. Vandermeer for company, and he gets a foot on it, and it'll be a corner ball. A chance here for Devonport to do something from a set piece. And as Tall Timber comes forward, they might fancy themselves here on the corners.
This is, look at those big boys pile forward.
The cavalry
look at that.
Up.
Tell you what, they would have all been in the back row in their school photos as it comes long. Cut off at the front post. Bulbul Sam with it. To Shiruma, he lets it run. Probably not a wise decision as it's cut off by Sison, but it's straight with a white shirt and with Dawu. Finds Shiruma, he breaches the box. Looks to cut it back from the byline. Measures a pass for Hoy. He doesn't get much on it. And Devonport will be able to escape that very, very nervy moment.
Beautiful play from Shiruma, storming into the box and then just suddenly stopped. Get the cross in. Really skillful stuff from the import there. Turn on a dime as this one launched along, and the Olympia body's back there, and Callan will play it to Paradisus, so will be closed down. As has been pointed out, we've seen Dennehy and Smith swapping positions, so that's an interesting one. Going fullback now playing as a winger. And he's got the ball here, but he's run out of pitch. He might have been fouled there, a little shirt grab on him. Indeed he has. A slice of cheese been issued, so a slight tug apparently. And it's a slice of cheese for Callan. He's now got to walk the tightrope for the rest of this game. Braden Mann also in the book. And another chance. They're not going to send everyone forward for this one though. They've got 5 bodies to pick out. Wait patiently for the referee to say play on. The ball's played to the back post towards Gorry. Floats over he and Drake's head, and Hickey's back to sweep. Bulbul Sam with a nice pass to Drake. Nice backheel pass. And spills out of play for a Drake throw in. And the Canadian launches long. Mulroney won the header. Play for Mann. Horrible contact there from Vandermeer. Didn't clear the area, that was his intent. Collard has no such issues, he thumps it out of there. He's the immediate threat. And Smith has gone back to left back, so it was just a temporary switch there with Dennehy. He was targeting Blizzard, couldn't quite get him. Mearns was out there to put it out of play. Hasn't seen much of the ball yet, Nick Mearns.
No, he hasn't.
Throw from Smith. Flicked on. Here's Collard again. Goes the director out. He headed away though, and Sharuma first to the fall. Plays it into Hoy. Solid there from Grattan. Didn't deal with the ball completely though. It stays in. Here's the tricky Gavin Hoy getting onto the left foot. Centering ball. Stone was there to cut it out. Oh man, nearly flicking it on. Deno was away if he had have just got it past the defender there, and now he'll get another chance as he turns away from Callan and retreats back to Smith.
Oh, Smith just a little bit too cute. It's picked off by Sharuma, in for Hoy. He looks to have a shot. Giansopoulos across, saves it twice. Oh, Grattan this time. The rebound's away, it's bobbling around the box and Olympia can't find it a home in the net. We'll see this again. Sharuma put it through for Hoy. He shimmied to shoot. It was blocked there by Zupo. Came in, Giansopoulos saved once. Got a hand to the next one. And then Grattan, look at that. I don't even know whether he knew about it, but he's just saved Devonport there from going 2-0 down, which would have really been a bitter blow for the North West Coast side. They remain well and truly in it. Paradisus plays it out. Finds Vandermeer, squirts the ball out of play on the left-hand side and out for another throw-in.
That certainly would be a big hole. He probably didn't know much about it, but was really well positioned there. Obviously a big frame. Grattan and Zupo just occupying a fair bit of the goals, the big centre halves. Threw their bodies in the way. Sharuma now with a pocket of space, but Blizzard did really well to get back and cut that out. He's been working hard, covering every blade of fake grass here, Blizzard. It's offside against Devonport. Collard to get things moving quickly. Plays it to Vandermeer, although they're just getting the positioning right from the initial offside. Sweep it across to Collard. They're certainly very accomplished on the ball, and he charges forward. He's lost it though. Here's Braden Mann in some space. He looked to play through Blizzard. They get back in numbers. Olympia. He's still got a Blizzard, and in the end, Vandermeer held out well, but turning over in dangerous areas there. Here's Ball Samuels, shove, advantage paid, and he looks to get up and run here at Zupo. Slides it in for Sharuma. Oh, Nicky G out off his line quickly again and shut that down.
Perfect from Giansopoulos. He read it like a book.
Might have all been for nothing. Looks like the offside flag had been raised.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah,
tremendous save, really in vain because, as you're saying, it was offside anyway. But it was a brilliant bit of work from the Canadian.
Some good work is Nicky G and goals.
Giansopoulos.
Good saves as well.
Zupo, just have a look at him. He's about 200 metres tall as he pumps this one long. Dennehy has Callan to deal with. Callan comes out on top. Puts a ball down the line to no one in particular. Grattan says thank you very much as he keeps it in. Plays for Giansopoulos. Short now for Zupo. The Zupa Duper keeps going. Long and strong it goes. Looking for Mann. He's beaten in the air by Drake, and then Vandermeer swings one back for his gloveman. Probably doesn't want the ball at his feet. Hardly gets it out. Picks out Ladawi. Not a bad effort from Paradisus in the end. He looked worried as he did it, but it was well executed. Ladawi does well. Receives back from Callan. He'll put it out onto the right for Hoy. Hoy will look to zip into the box from the byline. He holds it up. Good pressure coming from Smith. He continues to harass. Back now for Callan. He just puts it across for Hickey. He retreats. Finds the skipper Vandermeer. The Collard, he's got a few metres if he can dash. He opts to pick out Callan. Forward for Mearns. He just more or less just pops one out onto the right wing and says, well, how we deal with this? He can't as it goes out of play. Throwing from Callan to the edge of the box, and Devonport will run the other way now with a full head of steam. It's Gorry. He's got man wide and short. Finds him, receives back. Long Gorry goes. A searching ball looking for Dennehy. It's cut off from Vandermeer, who gives it to his gloveman.
I thought they were a little bit quick to launch it forward there, Devonport. If they were going to do that, probably should have come a little bit earlier. Get the ball back as Stone takes a massive deflection off Mulroney. He'll go out for a throw in. And Hoy will take it. He's looked sharp early in this one as Hoy. There's Drake charging forward. Plays it to Hoyer as a dip from range. It's curling, and Nicky G had some work to do.
Giantsopoulos.
It's one he should save, but he's done well. It was a good hit from Hoyer. It was curling and dipping. Not quite far enough away from him, and did the thing all good goalkeepers do, where they make it look more spectacular than it is by the unnecessary
Yeah,
jump.
I liked it.
Always a big fan of that. Makes for good highlights reel as the cross comes in, and Collard in acres of space at the top of the box. He put it wide, but some really poor marking there from the strikers. You can't give him that much room. Olympia nearly profiting from the set piece. It was a pretty well hit volley, just the direction off target. Nicky G probably had it covered regardless. He reacted very swiftly to it. He's been on song early in this one, and has had to be, as Olympia just starting to get on top of this one. He's asserting their dominance in the contest. Devonport won't want to fall 2-0 down as Sam heads it to the middle. Blizzard will head to it. He's going to come out here to Mulroney. To Stone. There's it back to Mulroney, and they've turned it over. Here's Nick Mearns. Sharuma. Space in the middle with Dawu. Will look to get up and run at Smith here. What's he do? He fakes across and then surges into the area. Sets it up. It was well blocked though. Good defensive work here by the strikers. They're under siege at the moment, Damien.
They are indeed. They've just got to more or less absorb this. As Olympia come wave after wave. Bit of miscommunication at the back now. Lets in Olympia. It's dropped off from Hoy. A very tame rolling effort from Sharuma. Giantsopoulos has no issue with that.
No conviction in that hit at all. Just passed it to him, really.
Yeah.
Put the laces through it.
Giantsopoulos with a long bomb. Looking for a yellow shirt. Can't find it. It's cut off from Collard, who's been good so far. Hickey on the ball. Very wise to the situation. Goes to Callanute. Back to Paradisus again. He's got those wobbly knees. He's worried about what's going on. Shaking like a Tickle Me Elmo. He's Paradisus at the back. Just needs to cool his jets a little bit.
Jeez, I haven't heard that one since the days of fielding a third slipping under 12s. Big fan of that old sledge you've pulled out there, Gilly. But you're right, he's not looked confident. As Stone plays it back to Smith. He's immediately pressured by Wadawa, who takes off the other way. Good play from Warren Wadawa, who slips it through now for Hoy. Nicky G off his line. He was awake to the danger and he puts it into touch. Good work from the keeper.
So far, we didn't get a real good look at Giantsopoulos last week. So far today, he looks the goods, doesn't he, Drewster?
Yeah, he's a virtual spectator last week, but he's been busy so far in this one. And yeah, he's looking as advertised. Giantsopoulos, here's ball Sam. Just waits for the ball to bounce and get up and run. That's what he likes to do. Mearns couldn't get inside of Stone and they forces the turnover. Hasn't done a heap in an attacking sense. They've turned it over here though to the wily Shea Hickey. Back heel to ball Sam. He's surrounded by 4 shirts. Does well to play 1-2 with Hickey. In the end, Blizzard will take it out. Plenty of numbers back here and defensive work from the strikers. Here's Drake. Plays it back for Van der May. Braden Mayor's been hustling around us as that man Gorry. Wasp buzzing about the pitch this front three for Devonport. Pressure on the defence. Collard certainly had no issues playing it out. He scores the other side of the pillow every time he's on it, but Paradisus has certainly been caused a bit of trouble by this high intensity pressing. Here's Ball Sam, just slices inside of 2, but as he did just a few too many times last week, he's beaten a couple and then can't get around the 3rd or 4th defender. And it's just perhaps trying to do a bit too much early on. Obviously a big recruit, a lot of expectations, and probably just needs to simplify it a little bit, I reckon.
He's done some silky stuff though, Drew. He has looked the goods, but it's just that finished product. That when he goes to actually play the pass, he'll maybe do one thing too many. So I do agree with you there. So it's out of play. Devonport ball. The numbers pour forward. So 26 minutes gone in this contest, Rooster. It's been a fair old arm wrestle. Olympia have had the better of it, you'd have to say. But Devonport have shown bright signs and could have easily equalised through Brody Dennehy. Just misfired his shot though, and it was saved by Paradisus. Comes along from Olympia. Sharuma on the ball. To get inside the box, he shimmies and shakes and goes back out onto the left-hand side. He's got Sison marshalling him. Sticks real tight to Sison, so he goes back for Sam. He's got another couple of yellow shirts around him. They're like a swarm of bees. Just buzzing about these Devonport players as it comes along from Collard, looking for Mearns. Can't pick out anyone apart from Giansopoulos. Races off his line. It comes along for Devonport. Collard there to it first before man. From Vandermeer to Drake. Puts it into Collard. Paradisus a little confused at the back there. Sam wins in the air. It's won back by Blizzard. Only as long as Collard. He just picks it up and strolls away and finds his fellow Western Australian in Shuruma. Looks to cut inside. Stone gets a piece of it. Back for Gorry. The redhead just dashes down the line. Looks to play in Dennehy. It's a superb ball. Oh, he's cracked a shot. Bodie Dennehy. Take a bow. What an effort. It came over the top. It was a superb knock. Dennehy's brought it under his spell. He's had Callum by his side and he's cracked it.
We're going to have a great angle of this. What a superb goal. He's in some form. He notched a couple last week. And he's got his third of the season, nods it into his own path and then smashes it with the left foot perfectly into the corner. Paradise has got to stop that though.
We didn't have the best angle of the save. Paradisus is still on all haunches. It might be a convenient injury. I don't want to get into him too much, but he should have saved that.
Just an opportunistic goal though.
From our angle, it just looked like a cracking hit, to be honest, didn't it, Drewster?
Well, he made fantastic contact, but the keeper was in position. And he's got to do better than that. And 1-1. They've been plucky so far, Devonport. They've been certainly had much less of the ball. That was to be expected. They've survived a fair period of pressure in the last 10 or 15 minutes, and they've got the goal. They're back the other way, just opportunistic, just quickly moved. And when you're playing against a keeper who's probably down on confidence, who's looked a bit shaky, shoot on sight, a good policy, and that's exactly what Denny's done. He had no other real option. He's just nodded it to himself. So we look at it again. Just sets it up for himself with a little flick of the head. He makes very sweet contact. And Paradise there's got to be
sprawled
stopping
back.
that.
You got to save that, Drewster. Dennehy wrapped with his effort, and so he should be. It was a cracking drive, but should have been saved. Devonport, right in this contest, we have a ball game.
We do indeed. 1-1. And another thing with Paradisus was interesting. Collard almost treading on his toes there moments earlier to get back and play the ball. There's perhaps a lack of confidence playing out from the back, but it looks like he's being subbed off here. So another dirty day is going to come to an early end for Spiros Paradisus. So our first look at the new goalkeeper.
And I don't have the foggiest on how to say his name. Pascal, Jean Pascal. I think it's Geoffrey. I couldn't tell you how to say his name. But
Is he French?
He's from Western Australia, which is a bit interesting. Not too many players in this league from Western Australia, particularly at Olympia. That's a new one.
Bit of a trend, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a very French-sounding name for WA. I thought you were going to tell me he's from Dijon or somewhere. But
their cricket team is the West Australian Warriors.
Well, that is true. Perhaps there's a bit of a partnership developing there. There's Collard on the ball now, gets it forward to Shuruma. How will they respond to the goal, Olympia? Trying to get against the run of play. You know, really starting to get on top. It's a good sliding challenge there by Syson. He's worked hard in the midfield today. His defensive work's been outstanding so far.
One wonders why Geoffrey, I think that's how you say it, Geoffrey. I might have to get a bit of a Google that one on how the hell I say it. But one wonders why he didn't start.
Stone crosses, but it's overhit for Dennehy. And we're being told back spasms is why Paradisus has come off. So well, that's why Joffrey's not starting. All right, interesting.
Is it Joffrey? Is it King Joffrey?
It's King Joffrey. As far
Is
as
that
I'm
what we're
concerned.
rolling with?
We're rolling
King
with
Joffrey.
King Joffers.
Well, let's hope it doesn't end the same way for him. No Game of Thrones spoilers there, but if you haven't caught up to that part, that was yonks ago. As it comes into the box, Giansopoulos picks it up. He looked to pump it long. And pump it long he does, looking for Man. He does well to contest. He's just picked up by Collard and swept away by Hickey. Very agricultural. And Giansopoulos will have another one. Have another look. These long balls from Devonport continue to threaten. This one, Giansopoulos' boot straight to Collard. He says, thank you very much. Stone tunnels into Mearns. And it'll be a Warriors free kick. So Joffrey, we think.
Well, I'll say why not. We're not shy of a nickname in the Slice of Cheese.
King Joffrey, loving his work.
King Joffrey's in goals for the Warriors, and well, if he's got back spasms and wasn't fit to start, it's an interesting one to have to be inserted into the contest now.
Twist and a turn, isn't it really? Very, very interesting for King Joffrey. It's in midfield. Shea Hickey just more or less throws the boot out at it. Picks out Ball Sam. Looks inside, zips back. Plays for Van der May. There he is, King Joffrey, a first real look. Nicely played out for Callan. Callan looks to race away down the channel. Finds Wadawu. A bit of trickery. He looks to get by Smith. Smith up to the TAS. Does well. Can't pick out a yellow shirt though, and Sharuma picks it up. Finds a little rumour. Goes to Hoy. Plays across for Hickey. Hickey out onto the left looking for Sam, and it's Mann who's at cross. Make sure that one goes out of play. Very well done by the striker's skipper, Braden Mann, who of course returns to the club after a couple of years at South Hobart. Championship and a couple of golden boots and a couple of appearances in the FFA Cup. Not a bad little effort.
Yeah, the prodigal son returning, the hometown favourite. Will be a big impact, and you can see his work rate's been just outstanding early in this contest, tracking back in defence, pressing the keeper, and certainly with the new keeper in there, he's a bit more comfortable with his distribution with his first real test. We get another look at him here as Van der May plays it back to King Joffrey. And he just launches it in the Wadawu direction, but easily cut out by Smith. Mearns, Sharuma. He's been marked pretty tightly by Sison. It's been an interesting battle between those two. Hoy tracking back, his ball's cut out, and now again direct, but Collard read that one well. Van der May hacks it out of there in no uncertain terms. Falls onto the chest in the end. Did well to bring it under his spell. Sharuma is not particularly happy with the run Ball Sam made, and lets him know about it. Oh, lovely work there from Stone. Rolls it over and he's away. Looks to play in Denny. His touch was just a bit heavy. And in the end, it'll go to King Joffrey.
King Joffrey looks down at his kingdom, pumps it long. Oh, comes down with snow on it, but Grattan's up to the task. In the bullseye, it's seen clear by Hickey. Finds Ball Sam. He nips inside, drops off, finds Mearns. Mearns long and out to the right. Picks out Wadawu. Looks to beat Smith. Smith up to the task. Superb again. Down the line, Smith's ball goes. Dennehy looks to track it down. He's got Mearns for company. Mann comes in to provide support. And Mearns just drops it off to the wise head of Collard. Not real old Collard, but great football experience, a great football brain. That much is evident. Van der May looks to get it. Man, hot on his heels every time Van der May gets the ball. Sison slices them apart, gets it in the middle. Plays a long ball, and unfortunately can't pick out a yellow shirt as Olympia have it again in their defence.
Collard with a long ball. Sharuma does well to control it, bring it down. He's one-on-one with Mulroney. Holds up, waits for support here, Sharuma. Eventually comes in the form of Drake. Ball Sam. Back to Hickey. Hickey plays it wide again to Sharuma. Sharuma to Drake. They force the turnover. Well done there by Sison. I think it was tracking back. Just disrupting the Olympia rhythm, their passing game here. Patient in their build-up. Certainly more so than Devonport have been very direct with their style, as we expected. These Collard just look so comfortable on the ball at the back. Really just dominating this game.
He's very, very good. This is why they brought him across, Brewster.
It's been superb. Picked out a beautiful pass to Wadawu there. Eventually it will split out a pay for a Warriors throw, which Hoy wins. He's been busy, Gavin Hoy. He's buzzing about there, obviously, when the ball's played to his feet. It's a lot better for him than when he's got to deal with the aerial balls. So that's why we're seeing this kind of patient passing approach from the Warriors. And it's really poor there, the turnover back the other way. Here's Stone. He's got Warrior shirts around him. Mearns robbed him. He might have a chance to shoot himself here. Mearns tried to feed it through for Sharuma instead. And again, the strikers back four holding firm. They've been pretty impressive so far in this one, apart from the penalty.
Yeah, apart from Grattan's little slip up, leaving just the boot hanging out there, more or less. Apart from that, they've been really solid. Faname sweeps it across. Dennehy again picks this one up, and they might be on the strikers. Gorry, a perfect ball for Dennehy. Can he make it two? Superb save by Joffrey. Gets down low and hard and saves this one. Devonport could have made it 2-1. Dennehy again, the man. He seems to be the one getting on the end of these balls with his pace, really worrying them at the back. Drake on the ball now for the Warriors. They look to get it out of their defence. Blizzard with a timely intervention, but can't cut off what should be an Olympia attack as it swings out wide to the right. Finds ball Sam. He looks to use those wheels, and he's chopped down by Blizzard. Not happy with his own tackle there, I think, by Blizzard. We'll see a good angle of it on the replay. Just real late. Oh, he got a piece of the ball, actually, but just got a fair bit of ball Sam with it.
Yeah, fair old chunk of ball. It was a real turn and surging run there from ball Sam. That's what he's capable of. Again, shirts surrounding him. They've defended very well. I think Saville will be very happy with how this game's playing out. It's tactically he's got it spot on. They've been solid at the back, and the forwards just play a nice direct game to them. They're harassing, they're pressing, and then they'll sit back. The midfielder dropping deep. Here's a chance as they take it short. Ball Sam, just a heavy touch. Probably should have let that one roll out for a goal kick. That was ill-advised. I think it was Dennehy, but he's done well to win it back. And then danger averted, but a bit of an unnecessary danger there for himself as he would just possess the ball around the back. They'll probably change direction here. Here's Zachary Drake. That line bling plays it into Sharuma, who's got a bit of space here. He looks up and plays a pretty ordinary pass in the end for Vandermeer. Not quite on the same page as each other there. The danger averted, but 1-1, and that save really.
Joffrey showing his quality early.
Could have been 2-1, and Dennehy, well, he's had a couple. He went to try and slide it through the legs. This time he tried to go to the side, and both times he's been denied by the keeper in the one-on-one situations. And tend to fancy the striker to put them away, so he'll be frustrated there with Dennehy.
He'd be frustrated because he could have a hat-trick if he took his chances. Obviously a superb hit on the goal, but I tell you what, the service and the ball through from Gorry was perfect. You know, Joffrey just, you got to say, it was a class save from the goal.
He's having a bit of joy getting in behind Callan on that left-hand flank for them, the right-hand side. The Warriors, he's got him behind them a few times, and the long diagonal balls to that side have been more effective than the ones to Zachary Drake's side.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Gorry's got much joy actually in their front third. I think Gorry's best work's been done before then. As it comes over from Collard, man holds it up, calls for the cavalry, looks to put it through for Stoney, bundles into Drake. Geez, there wasn't too much in that. He's going to be shown a slice of cheese. Olympia fans have plenty to say, but tell you what, there wasn't a heap in that.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. I don't think there's too much malice. It was really well read by the Canadian. He saw exactly what was going to happen. He saw the run coming inside there. He got back to cover it. He got in front of Stone, and he's a little bit late, but that's not...
He tried to put the brakes on and more or less just accidentally ran into him.
I'm not sure that's slice of cheese worthy.
No, I think he's a bit stiff there.
The crowd and the reaction from Drake's probably got him into the book there, but it wasn't the nastiest foul you'll ever see.
No. I actually think he tried to pull on the brakes and make sure he didn't make a meal of it. But anyway, throw in as Drake brings it in. Finds Hoy. Tuadawi looks to nip inside. Mulroney all over him. That strength on show. Down the line it goes. Drake who gets a touch and finds Hickey who, rare error, spills it out of play. Throw in now for the strikers, or as they like to call themselves up there, the Banana Slugs. Throw in now from Drake. And with Dawi, he turns, finds Hoy with a bobble. It finds Sharuma, back for Mearns. They get it moving now, Olympia. Their game is going. As Ball Sam shimmies and shakes from the right, puts it into the box. And not even sure what happened there. It was so rapid. You get a replay as Ball Sam did well to beat Smith. Sprayed this ball across, and I think it was... Who we got there, number 5? Is it Sison, or was it Zupo?
Big Zupo.
The big Zupa Duper came across and cut that one off. Olympia again here. Sharuma can't keep a hold of it. Mulroney all over him once more. From Hickey. Finds Collard. Goes direct. It's a bouncing ball that Giansopoulos will have no issue with.
Interesting to see that Ball, Sam and Wadawu have now switched flanks, and I can understand why, to be honest. Wadawu has been in Smith's pocket this entire half, but I can't remember an occasion when he's really got the better of their young fullback, who's going to play 140. He's really impressive again after he was last week, and they forced a bit of a turnover. Dennehy just so blizzard short there. They had shirts getting forward. It was looking dangerous, but poor from Dennehy in the end. He is Sharuma and Ball. Ball does well to get around Smith. Now he's surging forward, converging on him though with the banana slugs. They're all around him. They force the turnover, but they've won it back. Hoy to Hickey. Hickey looks to slide it through for Warren Wazawa, who's offside, and that will kill that attack before it can get going. Again, so Sam gets the ball, surges, and the shirts just converge on him. They've done a pretty good job, as South Hobart did last week. Those defensive midfielders getting back into that space, not letting him cut inside, which is what he likes to do. Certainly his natural instinct, it seems. Just to kind of surge forward, cut inside and look to shoot, but he's found his path blocked by defensive midfielders nearly every time in this one. Here's a header from Mulroney that will just roll on out of play. Drake to take it. Goes back to Vandermeer. He's the captain. To Collard. Collard, an ugly touch, nearly let Dennehy in, and after a pretty assured first kind of 35 minutes, just a couple of mistakes there from Collard in the last few minutes have almost led to good chances. As the picture is gone again, unfortunately, so we'll describe what's happening. It's Braden Mann looking to get in behind Zachary Drake.
Oh!
His own net.
Goal time!
Zachary Drake with an own goal. He's looked to clear it, and he's put it straight at the back of his own net. It was a one-on-one, a bit of a foot race between Mann and Drake at the top of the area. Mann could try and claim it, but that is straight off Drake, and it's beaten the keeper. It's left him flat-footed. It was not well done at all by the Canadian. And Devonport, 2-1 now. They've played a very smart game. They've sat back and absorbed, and they've hit them on the break. And you got to say, hats off to the Sav, because he has got his tactics spot on, Gill.
Tactics all over it, and no surprise from the greatest interviewee in the world, Peter Saville. We've cut out at exactly the wrong time because Devonport, Devonport strikers 2-1 now. This is massive for the league. We'll send shockwaves if it stays this way. Played short from Sison. It's off the boot of Sam, and Cullen tries to keep it alive. He does so from Hoy. Back for Sam, and Smith just watches it out of play. So a Devonport throw in. It was Mann who got a little touch, but it was Drake who put it in the net. It was blatantly an own goal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. He's hit it from about 15 yards too. Was tempted to just knock it away from Mann and didn't get the direction at all right, as Sison rather tried to do it all himself. He's Mearns. He'll send it out to Ball Sam up against Smith immediately. Braden Mann, look at him working back to occupy that space, and they've done that well. They've really been spot on with the numbers back. Here is Drake overlapping, looking to redeem. He crosses. It's going to be hacked horribly in the end. I think Smith there trying to belt it out. Got it about 2 metres away and didn't really clear the area, but eventually it's out. Top of the area now, Sharuma. Top of the D. He hits a defender though. Now it falls to Ball Sam, still outside the box. Surrounded by banana slugs, and the 3 shirts clear it. They go long and strong. Collard leads Dennehy back to the ball. It's towards the corner flag. Dennehy fighting hard, and in the end passes back to his keeper, who'll thump it to midfield, but Braden Mann was waiting there. He heads it on. Hickey goes up. He heads it back towards halfway, where Sam and Smith are waiting. Oh, lovely use of the body there from Ball Sam to turn Smith, but across to cover was Grattan. That's been the case every time. There's been someone to cover. And really good work from Devonport. Long diagonal ball looking for Wadawu, who's one-on-one with Mulroney. Very wide here on the left wing. He surges now into the box. He's got behind him. He chips it to the penalty spot just about. But again, Grattan was there and he puts it behind for a corner. This should be the last action. 46.5 minutes gone by. A corner opportunity. Can Devonport hold on and hold their 2-1 lead? They went behind through a penalty early on as we get
Pitcher back
here, and they've played it to the top of the area. They're forced to turnover though, Devonport. Can they be the ones to hit them before the break? Gorry making a surging run in behind, but he's never going to find him as it spills out of play. The way they've broke every time, the counter-attacking play's been great from this Devonport side. Here's Hoy. Passes to Sharuma. Gets round one. Kept going, and eventually Zupo was across to deal with him. Keeps a hold of the ball though. Sysenden and Smith deal with him. Here's Mearns. Sharuma. As we see, the ball goes back to Collard. Collard. Now it's going to be a fairly threatless cross, that one from Callan. Not his best work. And that should just about be half time, you'd imagine.
should be curtains on the half, I would have thought, Drewster. Apparently there's been a send-off at KG5. Big David Smith sent off is the rumour. We'll get confirmation on that shortly. Okay. So we're right on the shadows of half time, Drewy, and what a half it's been from the Devonport Strikers. It's 2-1. It could easily be one more than that, being conservative, but it could be another, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've had a lot more of the ball. They've had it in more advanced positions, but in terms of chances, it's been all the way of Devonport, really. They've settled after going behind early, and Olympia, again, just haven't looked particularly on the same page. That's some lovely work from Hoy, but he's blocked off by Stone, and the referee gives the free kick. But every time, it's just like last week, the way South Hobart dropped Brown back in defensive midfield. We've seen Syson and Stone in particular have just been dropping back into that space, forcing them wide when they've wanted to cut inside, and they've defended it really well. Braden Mann, I mean, he is tracked back in defence. He's not stopped running for 45 minutes, Braden Mann. But really, you got to, as I've said, hats off to the Savile. Man, a few words, but a man of very good tactics, apparently. Absolutely won the tactical battle as the last action of the half, surely. Apparently there's been a second goal over at KG5 and it's now 2-0. We'll get Damo to confirm that a second. They take the short free kick rather than having a dip. Here's Sharuma. And they'll be forced out. Braden Mann there to harass him. He keeps it in, but he's losing more and more meterage here. Almost back at halfway. Look at the shirts around him. He's done well to keep it in there, Sharuma. And now can Olympia conjure up something late? They're going to work it with Callan to Drake, who surges inside. Oh, lovely little cut ball there for Wadawu, but Blizzard did well. Just disrupted the play. Ball with just a lazy foot out, which almost turned to a through ball. Collard in space. Lashed it over the top. And that is half-time.
That is half-time, Drewster, and what a half.
Cracking half of football, that. Collard nearly ending it on a high note there with a smashing shot that just rose over the top. We might see him bobbing up in more advanced positions as this game goes on, as Olympia are going to have to chase it. Somewhat surprisingly. Well, not to you, though. You did tip a Devonport victory.
I think I tipped it 2-1. If it stays this way, I'll be a pretty happy man, because the Devonport Strikers have come to town. They come to town with a plan, come to town with a squad that's together. It's a cohesive squad. They're all playing as a unit, and so far so good as far as Peter Savile's concerned.
They certainly look the happier team of the two as they wander off the pitch there. There's a bit of finger pointing going on for the Olympia boys. They've got half time here to try and turn it around again. It's been the same type of mistakes they've been making last week at the back, obviously just butchering the ball at times. They've pushed men forward when they've trying to deal with the massive numbers that Devonport have got back, and then they've been exposed the other way. There's been space in behind on the counter. They've taken full advantage of it, and fair play to Devonport. They've come here with a plan, as you've said, and through 45 minutes they've executed it.
All over it. We might just leave you now for a little bit of a breather at the half time, get our breath back, and we might come back with some highlights of the first half before getting into what should be a massive second half. The champions, they've got it all to do as they trail Devonport 2-1.
This weekend, experience the excitement of Tasmania's Premier Football League. Find more matches and information at footballfedtas.com.au. PlayStation 4 NPL Tasmania. See every moment.
Man, when I come back there, you have to leave. The light you up there. Yes, that's your finger. And the gun, that's two. Put the ring on it. Alex, you make Alex. Monday. No, Monday. No. Bedford. Two house jumping. Live. Yeah,
Back for a fascinating second half. Well, it should be. At the moment, Devonport lead the champions, Olympia FC Warriors 2-1 at Warrior Park. We'll go through a couple of the goals. Unfortunately, our camera cut out just as Devonport's second rolled into the net, so we missed that one. But we got the first two goals, and here they are. The first one, a penalty, was earned by Ball Sam, and he dispatched it in the bottom left corner. Nathan Grattan more or less just left his leg hanging out to dry, and Ball Sam took the contact and then took the goal. The equaliser, I don't think that is it. Not sure what we've got there. Ash is throwing me a curveball. We'll just wait for that goal to come up. As Olympia players start to stroll out onto the pitch, a big half for them.
Tell you what, a big half-time yell there from Jake Vandermeer. He's
as we see,
fired up customer down there.
Absolutely, as we see Brody Dennehy's equaliser. Look at that. He cracked it off the left peg. Spiro Paradisus sprawling backwards, trying to tip it over. Didn't get contact on it, and it was 1-1. And then the third goal of the game saw an own goal. Zach Drake scurrying across, trying to cut off a Brady Man attack. And unfortunately, put it in his own net to see Devonport with a valuable half-time lead.
Yep, so the champions on their home turf have it all to do in this second 45. Interesting to see if they make any tactical changes to the way they line up. It looks like Ball Sam heading out to the left-hand side. He's used on both flanks at times. And Wadawu switching on a couple of occasions there in the first half. It looks like he's going to start at the left and run at Mulroney again. Hoy looks like he's going to continue centrally with Shroom in behind. It's an interesting one. Will they make adjustments? We're thinking perhaps an idea that Ball Sam maybe try him centrally. That's something I'd like to see. Hoy, he's been solid, but I still prefer him in the 10 role rather than the 9. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he shuffles anything about for Devonport. I wouldn't be changing a thing. They've tactically been absolutely spot on. The counter-attacks, the long balls, they've been compact in defence, and they have broken with real speed. They've pressured the back four. Every time they've passed back, they've swarmed on them. As we've called them, a swarm of wasps at times. They've just been buzzing about the pitch there. And they've really given some headaches at the back for this Olympia side. And they're going to want to show a bit more than they did in that first 45. First 15 was pretty good as a direct ball is played. Now won't get it on the end of that. The Olympia throw. The first 15 minutes, it was all Olympia, really. They took the lead. They had a couple of good chances. There was that shot that was hitting goalward, which was denied. There was the double save from the keeper. And then, really, as the game wore on, the strikers have got better and better. Seemed to have worn them down a little bit as the game went on. So Hoy flicks it through now for Sharuma. Here's Ball Sam. He's one-on-one with Mulroney. What can he do? He gets up and looks to skid him to the left. Might have taken too long, though. There's plenty of bodies back. And they defend it well in the end. I'd really just like to see Ball maybe just knock it past him and take off there. Run straight at him. But they got back in numbers well. Did the strikers to defend that one. Here's Collard. He looks up. Spreads it out to Wadawu, but there was Smith to put that in. And out. The throw will be taken. Hoy. Well defended there by the big fella Grattan. And they win the throw. They take it long onto the head of Mann. He flicks it on. There's Van der May. Plays it short for Hickey. Hickey to Mearns. Mearns pressured by Gorry. Releases it to Ball Sam. Again, he'll look to get up and goes on the outside. And that's a beautiful cross. A teasing ball, which Wadawu was so close to getting on the end of. And that's what I like to see from Ball Sam. He goes to the outside, gets the cross in. That's far more dangerous than cutting inside to the kind of massive shirts that have been blocking his path all game. And that was a really good play from Sam. It was a dangerous ball. And very nearly an equaliser there for the Warriors.
Geez, that was very, very close, Rooster. Really nice ball and good work from Ball Sam. That's what you want to see more of, like you said, as it comes along. Van der May cuts it off. Bo Blizzard steals back and puts it out in front of Dennehy. It's picked up by King Joffrey. Joffrey pumps it long. Sharuma's just cannon into the back of by Sison. Sison just clutching at the head, probably just trying to mask what was a pretty clear-cut foul. He might have copped a bit. He's gone head on head here. But Sison left a little bit sore. It's played quickly by Olympia. Van der May on the ball. Through for Collard. Out for Sharuma, and he tries to turn it out onto the wing, but misses his target, and it's out of play for a throw-in.
So Stone plays it across. Here's Blizzard now, surrounded by 3 Warriors shirts, and Mearns does really well, some fancy footwork, but fighting hard with Stone. He gets kicked there. That should be a foul. Just a throw, apparently, but don't know about that. Here's Mearns now overlapping down the right. Grattan is across to deal with it, and he'll just go across the line. It looked dangerous there for a second. I reckon Stone was pretty stiff not to get a free kick there. So a nasty one on the shin, but Warriors nearly making them pay. took full advantage of the break. Nicky G, who we saw spent the entire half-time period out there catching balls and practicing, and apparently not a big believer in having a break at half-time, Gilly.
Clearly just loves it. Enjoying his time at the Strikers.
Take this goal kick, launches it long in the direction of Hickey, but it was won by Sison. That's a bit of an ugly up and under there from Drake. Wadawu tries to keep it in play. In the end, they get the throw. He's Braden Mann. Hickey working back on him. They've had many duels down the years, those two. So stalwarts of the game in Tasmania as this one finds its way to Wadawu. Really silky stuff there from Wazawadawu. Here's Zachary Drake. Plays it for Ball Sam, who just gets in behind Mulroney, but his touch was a bit heavy, and the cross was Zupo to deal with it. Heavy touch also from Vandermeer. Kept it in though. Looked like it was out, but here's just Stone, who's pushed over by Mearns. Not happy with it, but going into his back really blatantly. An easy one for the referee to call there. Stone standing over this one as they send the cavalry forward again.
Here comes the lumber, the big fellas. Look at that.
Grattan staying
Looks like
back
a
this
team
time.
of bloody volleyballers. It comes in long from Stone. Cut off by Olympia, but Bo Blizzard's on it. Tries to keep it alive, in the end handles it. It's a let off for the Warriors.
Yeah, just once the initial thing wasn't called as a foul, which it wasn't. He was always in trouble when he was clasping for the ball there. It's forward again from the Strikers. They've started the half pretty positively, although, of course, there was that shot across their bows from Ball Sam, but they've really kind of had a bit more of the ball than they enjoyed in the first half. Throwing in an advanced area here. Blizzard offering short. Now he turns. Stone plays the 1-2. Drops the shoulder and now puts a cross in. Couple of headers and it's away. Now Shea Hickey gets in there first. Ahead of Smith. Hoy couldn't control it, but he might win the foot race. Oh, really well done by Grattan. Read it and got in ahead of Sharuma. Plays it now for Dennehy. Dennehy slides it through for Braden Mann. It wasn't a great pass though. And Collard able to clear that one away from the dangerous man. Good battle between those two this afternoon. Here's Wadawu, hacks it forward, looking for Hoy, but he's not going to win an aerial battle up against Big Zupo, Gavin Hoy. Fair height difference there between those two. Here's Mearns getting into trouble, just overplaying it a little bit there, Mearns, and they turn it over. Here's Smith. Smith goes with the direct ball for Gorry. Will it sit for him? It does. He takes a touch, but he is offside. So the threat averted.
Full time at KG5. Zebras 2, City 1. So Launceston City far from disgrace. They continue to improve. They're a really good young side, and I think in the years to come might be playing off in big title-defining type clashes as Grattan gets on the end of one. He's over, looking for Gorry. He finds Man. Looks to fire off a quick shot. Perhaps he knew he was in an offside position.
The flag was up very early, and he did appear to have stolen a yard or two there, man. But it's a dangerous play from Gorry. And Olympia step up. They have to watch out. As King Joffrey launches this one long. Battle in the air is won by Sharuma. Flicked on. Grattan missed it. Might allow Hoy in, but Big Zupo was there to sweep up. And man flicks on for Dennehy. Collard gathered that, and again, more directness from Olympia so far in this half. And a few more long diagonals. Ball Sam fighting for the ball with Blizzard. Hickey across rather to help out. Here's Nick Mearns. Sharuma looks to pick out Wadawu. It's cut out. That's a horrible clearance from Smith, though. It might sit for Ball Sam. He's one-on-one with Mulroney. He cuts inside and puts it straight into the hands of Nicky G, who was very secure, and he immediately launches back the other way. Collard plays it back for Vandermeer. He settles it down to Drake. Back to Vandermeer. Played around the back. Now he sprays it across to Shea Hickey, who did well to keep it in. Back to Wadawu, to Sharuma. Sison tight on him, as he has been all day. Wadawu just left it a little short there for Hickey. His legs couldn't get to it. Smith nipping in there. Again, it's a really poor pass. Allows Ball Sam to get it. Mearns, ball well cut out by Mulroney. Here's Gorry. He looks to play it forward, but Mearns will shut that one down.
Shut it down, he does. Sound for throw in. Strikers. Well, they're on top. 2-1 lead. Kieran Mulroney to throw it back in. Big Woody Mulroney. Big Toy Story man. Throws it down the line. It's helped further by Bo Wizard. And then Vandermeer just goes, I'll send this one out, thank you. We'll have none of that. Mulroney once more. Down the line, throws straight to a white shirt. Drake will dash the other way now. Puts it through. Hoy collects, finds Drake once more. Out in front of Ball Sam and tells him to run. Sam into the back of Mulroney. And it's a foul, and it halts what looked a very promising attack for Olympia. A nudge in the back of Mulroney. To be fair to Mulroney, he didn't really milk it. He came across and he was collected by Sam. I'm not sure whether that's actually a foul.
It's, yeah. The ref's always going to pay it, though. They always do. He's just got in there in front of him, and as soon as there was a hint of contact, he's gone down because he knew in a foot race he was in trouble there.
Yeah, smart positioning from Mulroney in that respect.
Heart and mouth moment for a moment there as Dennehy looks to get in behind, but Collard read it well. We'll see it out of play. Did well to keep it. Hoy whacks it long onto the head of Wadaru. Lovely flick onto Sharuma. Zupo across to deal with it.
The big Zupa Duper. Love his work.
Took about 3 steps and covered 10 metres to whack that one out of play, the big fella. Here's Sharuma, tidy pass to Wadaru. Goes down on the edge of the area.
Nothing in it.
The assistant's flag for it, and it'll be a free kick. It was just outside the box.
I don't think there's much in this, Drewster. I'd like to hear your view.
Just cuts across him. Yeah.
Wellman knew exactly what was going on personally. Maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't mind saying it again. They came together. I don't know. It's probably a foul.
Bit of a 50-50 one.
But it is. It was a contest, and I didn't see too much wrong with it.
I'd prefer to see him let it go, but he's been calling him all day is the thing. So I suppose at least he's being consistent. Anyway, Gavin Hoy with a chance. The ball has been put pretty well on the line here. Just a few choice words being used by the Olympia faithful down in front of this.
They seem to think this one is a penalty, I think, but I don't think it was ever a penalty.
The foul definitely started outside the area if it was in fact a foul, so I think it's the right decision. And probably deep in discussion with the linesman here.
Potentially a big moment here for the Warriors. So he's moved it a metre that one. I tell you what, that's not where the supposed foul took place at all.
No, it's not. They've had a conference and moved the ball to the wrong spot, but it looks like we're finally going to get some action. Hoy and Sharuma standing over it. I fancy the Canadian, although maybe they'll take it quickly. They do, and that was really wasteful. Lazy and low, and it was easily away by Big Grattan. Gorry gets his boot on it, but fails to clear the area, and Vandermeer will try and keep it in.
Oh, no.
An error from the skipper there.
I mean, it was far from glamorous, Devonport's approach at trying to get it out of the area, but then Vandermeer just could have let it go out.
One back by Mearns and almost able to feed through with Daru as they quickly took that, and Gorry let them in. Olympia really looking to dial it up here, force the issue. Here's Vandermeer, play it back for his keeper, and Joffrey, first of his name, launches it long, and that'll be headed into play by Mulroney, and well and truly made sure that he was out there with a somewhat unnecessary whack by Gorry there. And George Barkers just wandering out on the pitch, but just to gather a rapper that had gone on there. Just thought he'd
You
stride
say
on there.
gather a rapper. I think what he was doing was going, boys, if you can't sort this out, I'll come out there and do a job myself.
I thought he was just walking to where he thought the foul might have occurred. He was very much in that area, suggesting it could have been a penalty. Here's Ball Sam looking to get in behind Mulroney. Great ball.
Oh, Smith.
Smith just nudges it away from Hoy, who was
In
hovering behind him dangerously.
the calls for handball down at ground level were simply ludicrous.
Well, they're a rather one-eyed bunch
Yeah,
down there,
they
the Olympia
just-
faithful. Here's Hoy cutting inside. Oh, turned very dangerously, but numbers went out. Sharuma curls one, that's blocked. Backed out of there by Dennehy, but only as far as Vandermeer. Hemmed in a little bit at the moment, the strikers. Ball Sam. Oh, drops the shoulder in nicely. Can he get in behind Gorry? No, he can't. Plays it back for Vandermeer. Crosses. A poor touch in the end from Sharuma in the area. They've got a lot of numbers back. It's a real clattering.
Here we
It might
go.
open up. Man over the top for Dennehy. King Joffrey's there, and he just got to it.
Oh, it's not
Gorry
over.
forces the turnover. Oh, and again, King Joffrey was there to save the day. A couple of heart and mouth moments there for the keeper, and in the end, he slipped into that, and now he's whacked that one away. Dangerous moments there. 3-1 for Devonport. It's going to be very tough for the Warriors to come back from that.
Could have easily been 3-1 there, Drew. So good work from Joffrey. But Gorry was the one that made something from nothing, really, in the first place. Didn't look like it was going to be much of an attack. He's just hard in a tackle, kept it alive, and then another chance, you thought, oh, it's probably over. He comes in again and very nearly makes a goal for his side. I think he's had a good afternoon, Gorry.
Yeah, they've been really good with that, as you say, making something from nothing. That's happened a lot today, just from pressuring the defence, pressuring the goalkeeper, really hassling them all, not giving them a moment on the ball back there, and a number of times they've forced turnovers, which has led to chances for them. It's been a real feature of their play. They've sat back reasonably deep, but then they've had the front few really pressing hard as set piece opportunity. It's going to be Gorry to play it in. It's pretty poor though. Kicked out there by Mearns. He got a second bite out though, and he plays a better ball, and this time dangerous. Oh, very, very dangerous stuff there. Keeper slapping at it, but they clear the area. It's teasing delivery. Here's Gavin Hoy now. He looks up. Didn't like what he saw, so just played it sideways to Mearns. Wadawu, who's coming back from an offside position, I thought. Play on. He gets the return ball from Shura, and what can Wadawu do? He's got him behind Grattan, and it's hacked out of there and put in to the fence across the road just about there by Gorry.
And no mucking around there from Gorry.
When in doubt.
When in doubt, get it out. Very good work from the strikers, but Olympia threatening here as Wadawu plays short, finds Mearns. It's a teasing ball to the back stick, but Vandermeer wasn't prepared enough to throw his weight behind it. It's out of play for a goal kick.
They're sitting very deep at the moment, the strikers. They've been hemmed back in their areas. We saw the keeper's done pretty well. There's some sizable frames in front of him in the end, so
I think he had to leap over the Zooper Duper just to get rid of that one.
no easy task. So he's done pretty well there, you got to say.
It's been good since he's come on, Joffrey, and yet again it begs the question. I know he had back spasms, but he would have been handy from the first whistle. As he comes along, off the head of Sison from Mann. Almost gives Stone a look, but it's off from Mearns. Smith just clatters it out of there. Dennehy to the Blizzard. Back looking for Dennehy. Man keeps it alive, but it's straight to Olympia, and through Mearns it goes. But unfortunately, Hoy may be a little bit too tricky for himself and out of play.
Looks like Hoy's switched over to the right-hand side with Wadawu playing as the striker now, as this one's dealt with by Vandermeer in the direction of Ball Sam. He's wrestled to the floor there by Mulroney. Play on, they both get up, and Ball looks to run and cut inside, but Gorry was tracking back. He was clipped there though, and they might see the referee reach into his pocket here. So we have a look. Ball Sam's pace, he's causing troubles.
Causing headaches, isn't he, Ball Sam?
Just feel he's got Mulroney's number at the moment.
You do. They switch sides, obviously. You wonder whether maybe a Smith's better to deal with his pace.
Nodding enthusiastically, our expert from the Northwest, Jago, that's what he wants. He's telling the Sav that's how it's starting to be a bold man to tell Sav what to do. I reckon he's been pretty spot on as the ball is teased in, headed by Collard. Just wide. It was a dangerous ball, and they're threatening here, Olympia. A few set pieces in dangerous areas. That was a really good delivery from Mearns. Good run. The direction of the header, not quite there from Collard. But they are starting to just push them back a little bit deeper.
Just turning the screws, aren't they, Drew?
They are. They had many a late salvo on their title run last year. A team that ran out games pretty well. So this one's headed by Blizzard. And back from Vandermeer. He's Wadawu. Controls it nicely, but he can't get around Sison and Stone. Hoy battling for it, but Sison and Stone again. They've really worked hard, that duo in the middle. Here's Sharuma. Can Grattan get it out of there? Smith does, but took a deflection in the path of Hoy. Hickey essentially, man, tracking back impressively. Took a little flick on its way through to Hoy, who is operating wide on the right now. Was really having a tough time with the Giants, as this one's flicked over the roof. Very convincing with their clearances here. The Strikers boys, they're making sure it clears the line. So that one was launched over the top of the clubhouse.
Looks like there's going to be a change. Jack Cullen coming off, Joel Samet coming on. Obviously provides a bit more in an attacking sense. Fresh legs as well, but you wonder whether he can deal with Brody Dennehy better than Cullen did, because Cullen had his hands full.
He did. Looks like Drake is going to play right back now, so they've just switched sides here.
You wonder whether they were worried about Gorry and what he was doing. I don't know whether. Well, interesting change anyway. I would have, because Dennehy hasn't actually got a lot of the ball this half, but if you're going to move Drake in one half, you would have moved him last half, you would have thought.
Yeah,
anyway.
They are pushing him back deep. Maybe he likes the Hoy and Drake on this right-hand side just to get them, as they've certainly pegged them back very deep. Devonport quite content with this 2-1 lead. They're happy to sit back and try and absorb the pressure. And so far, they're holding out. Here's Vandermeer. He plays it across to Samet, just on. Ball Sam looks up. Has 3 yellow shirts. He played a little 1-2 with Samet, but Sison forces the turnover. He beats Sharuma. Oh, it's taken a flick off Hickey that might just play in Dennehy. Drake across to deal with him. And eventually we'll put it out of play. It's looking ominous there for a second. Hickey wondering where the foul was. We see the throw in for the Strikers. Stone taking a tumble down there.
Inventive from Drake.
As Drake is Darwood working back. Hickey hacks it out of there. Only as far as Gorry, who chips one in centrally. That's cleared away though. And eventually Mearns, no, he can't clear the area. Blizzard now looking to get in there. Plays a tidy little pass for Braden Mann. Put it straight to the keeper. He killed it. It opened up for him. He had a yard of space here, Braden Mann. And I've seen him put them away many times throughout the years, but this one didn't quite have the direction. Here's Samet. That's a great ball for Sharuma. He's one-on-one here. What can he do with Sison? He surges into the area. Cuts it back, and Mearns sliding in. Oh, it was dangerous, but they'll survive again, the Strikers. They are living on the edge at the moment. They're holding their 2-1 lead. Here's Drake. Plays a short pass for Wadawu. He looks up, he's surrounded by 3 shirts. Tried the big through ball, but again, repelled. I'd like to see maybe just pass it around a little bit more. Here's Hoy. Well read by the big fella. He just launches it onto the roof there.
Big Grattan. Thrown in. It's cut off by Hoy. He's tumbled into. Back for Drake. He's back to Collard, who's been superb at centre half for the Warriors. The skipper, Vandermeer, strolls away. He's got a couple of metres to use. He uses them well, but the first touch of Mearns lets him down. It was a nice knock for Mearns. He had got that first touch right. It easily could have been a goal for Olympia, but geez, it raced off his boot.
Yeah, not his best moment there, Nick Mearns. Just rolled straight off it. It's pretty ugly as the long goal kick comes. Headed away by Collard in the Sharuma direction, but Sison came flying in and won the ball. He just wanted it more, did Sison. Now he sends it wide on the left, but no one there. Drake will take the throw in. Takes it quickly. Man will press. They'll play it back to Joffrey. It wasn't terribly convincing. It's gone straight to Stone. Oh, Drake picks his pocket. Well done by the Canadian. Can he get them going back the other way? Was he fouled? No. Grattan wins it back in midfield. Surging inside there was Dennehy. Sison. Here's Smith. Devonport enjoying a rare little spell of possession, but Smith with a really ugly pass that serves only to play in ball. Thankfully, Gorry was tracking back, but just settling the ball down, controlling it well. Smith just gifting it away there. in his best moment. The youngster, he's been pretty impressive throughout, but it wasn't good. His ball, Gorry all over him. Ball turning. In the end, numbers went out. Sison again, but Mearns, he's cropping up in advanced positions. Ball looks to jink it round 2 and no corner. It'll be a
Nicely
throw
done
in.
from Zupo.
He's done well to not put that behind for a corner, but he's still under pressure. And as they have been for most of this half, really, they've been pegged back pretty deep. Here's Sharuma. They've been organised at the back. They're frustrating the Warriors. I remember a Good Friday game last year. And they scored a couple late to get over South Hobart. That's a lovely ball from Drake, but it was well read again. Meanwhile, something's happened off the ball. The Olympia faithful not happy with that. Wadawu furious with
They're going to
Smith.
call for a red card here, and I tell you what, Dom Smith did not mean to do what they...
Wadawu's fuming.
Wadawu is hot-headed.
Man talking him down at the moment. And
Smith went to just walk away, and the Warriors are going to call for a red card because they believe he stomped on Drake. From what I saw, it didn't appear that way. Wouldn't mind a replay once all this kerfuffle ends. The linesman would have been in a fairly good position, you would have thought. And Olympia, let's not lose their head here. They're still chasing the contest, and it's a yellow card for Smith. Common sense prevails for me.
Who was that for, Eugene?
He didn't stomp on his head like they're suggesting. We'll see a replay in a moment. You might not even see it in picture. Dawu was seriously hot-headed in the situation.
yeah, he was absolutely fuming as we have a look at the replay. Ball cutting inside there.
You're not going to see it. There's plenty of conversation still going on, Drew. So there's talk down there I can hear that there's a...
Here we go, here's the replay now.
They must be talking about the incident.
Surges in.
Oh, right, for dissent.
Oh, we've lost it. Yeah.
He's given a penalty.
Well, hang on a second.
Surely not. He was actually off the field.
Well,
Gavin Hoy, the trickster, just marching the ball over the penalty spot. Very, very clever from the Canadian.
I was wondering how on earth they've got penalty. Hoy's just taken it upon himself.
I was going to say, because it actually happened off the pitch. A bit tough to give it a penalty.
Yeah, the referee with a bit of a wry smile at that one. It's interesting there that after all the mess, there will be a set-piece opportunity for the Warriors here in another good area. And I'm interested to see who this break benefits more, really. And the Warriors have been probing, had a bit of momentum. It's might fire them up as well. Collard calling for runs to the near post. He's going to tease it in towards Mearns. Over there, head Drake with the bicycle.
Oh.
Not far away was the Canadian. It was an acrobatic effort, but just off target.
He's been in the thick of the action, hasn't he, Dre? He's scored an own goal. He was in that controversial moment just over there and very nearly a bicycle.
Good technique on it. I'll give him that much. Just not quite the direction, but he got up well. Almost found a way to get his side back on terms. We've gone past 70 minutes. You'd imagine there's going to be a bit of added time after all that's going on there. So a long kick comes. We will compete. It flows over all their heads. Mearns flicks it on. Stone. Man first to the ball and got a little kick from Mearns for his trouble and gets the free kick.
Wouldn't mind seeing a replay of that. Mearns is claiming he came in level with it. But man clutched straight for the leg, so you would have thought he copped some contact there. We've got Sison over this dead ball. He'll look to send this long. Big boys pile forward. It's a curling ball. Mulroney the most likely under it. Vandermeer meets it with a head. Falls for who was it? Their big Zupo, the big Zupa Duper. He shot a very tame one, and King Joffrey collects, and away they go. Hickey to Vandermeer, got meters to use. He runs with it, sends long. It's a very tame ball, collected by Jansopoulos.
A long ball, not something to
see. Just a little
see.
fake for Ball Sam. They'll exchange a few choice words, no doubt. Jansopoulos looks long. as is the Devonport game plan. Long it goes. They sit under it. Comes out with Drake heading. And then Stone rises high to get a header and win it back for Devonport. Only for a moment, though, as Hoy steals. Gives it straight to Bo Blizzard. He does well. Weasels his way down that left-hand side. Finds Stone along the carpet. It's cut off from Samet. Back in with Devonport, and it's Grattan. Chips over the top. Bo Blizzard will look to meet it just before the line as Drake sees it out. Bustles in to Bo Blizzard. Drake, pretty fiery customer, it seems. As with Dawu, meets the ball. Chips out in front of Hoy. Zupo first to it. Those big long legs. It only took 2 strides and he was across the entire ground just about. Big Zupa Duper.
Their centre-backs, they do cover the area so well because they just cover so much of the territory. With just a few strides. Here's Gavin Hoy. What can he conjure up? He retreats back to Hickey. Hickey goes all the way back to Vandermeer. Put him under a little bit of pressure. Dennehy man pressing. Collard looks to step up and take it on himself. He may be a centre-back, but he wants to drive the play here. What can he do? He looks to pick out Samet, who was tackled there. Kind of rugby style, and Samet just throws it in the back. A little bit unnecessarily. There'll be another set-piece opportunity for the Warriors. Chances beginning to mount. Again, looks a pro, but the tall timber at the back is held up pretty well. What can Collard do? He swings it in towards the keeper, and safe hands all day there from Nicky G. He holds on to that one and snatches it out of the air. He's been very good today. Import looks like a very shrewd signing between the sticks. Gets it along up the field here, and they'll take the throw in. They're certainly not going to be in any hurry, Devonport. They've got a lead, and they're quite content to sit on it. Gorry plays it back to Mulroney. He looks to chip it over the top, but ran out of pitch space in the end for Gorry. Here's Vandermeer. Switches the play to Hoy. Gets control of it and spins away from Sison. He won't stop working, and he's been good. Here is Sharuma. Mearns has played a much more advanced role in this second half. Sharuma again. Hickey makes a run for him. That's ignored. He goes instead looking for Hoy, but Smith read it well and cut it out. They get it to Braden Mann. Waits for support that comes in the form of Blizzard. Drake sliding in from a long way. Timed it pretty well in the end, though, and he's somehow won the throw. So well played by the Canadian. Here's Hoy, but the long levers of Grattan just sneaking around him again, as he has all day. Hoy's got the ball with his back to him. He just seems to be able to get those legs around and whip it away from him. Here's Drake. Plays it short to Mearns, and he was under pressure. It was an ill-advised pass. Back to Collard. And he again looks up and looks to set things up. He's playing really that quarterback type role at the moment for him at the back.
He's a real cool customer, isn't he? Picks out Borbor Sam on this occasion. Looks inside. Samet's run was coming. It just eluded him. Now it's with Gorry the other way. Long ball. Picks out Braden Mann. Oh, superb last effort from Collard. Came across and slid in and saw it away from the state's leading marksman. Perfect timing on the slide. Braden Mann, he get not too often that he misses those chances. 9 times out of 10, they're in the back of the net.
Well, I reckon that one was well and truly on target. That was an outstanding block from Collard. He timed the slide perfectly. Came in from behind him, and a crucial intervention that might just have saved the game for them. They've got really about 20 minutes to try and get something out of it. It's hard to see them coming back for 3-1 as one's plucked out of the air by Joffrey. But just mentioned earlier, we do remember Good Friday 12 months ago, a late show with a couple of goals to the Warriors. Saw them win a dramatic game. Woolley with a late winner on that occasion, I believe, and we'll be looking for a repeat this year. Here's Hickey. He looks up, doesn't see a lot that he likes, so just plays it short towards the Dawu. Samet, overlapping run. This is some nice play, charging the areas with Dawu, but Zupo and Dennehy combine to repel the threat. Sison is blocked by Hoy, who's cutting a very frustrated figure out there, the Canadian.
Geez, there were some pointed words barked at Warren Wadawu on that occasion. It's Mulroney now to throw in. Long down the line it goes. Bounces away. Wizard under it. He's got to contend with a couple of white shirts, and they win out as Mearns looks to thread the needle. There's an overhit ball. And to no one in particular in the finish. And Junior Soplis will bring this one back into play. All playing into the hands of the Devonport Strikers. 74 minutes gone in this one. They lead the champions, Olympia FC Warriors, 2-1. Could it be 2 losses on the trot for the champions to start their title defence?
Well, part of it's been because they've not been on the same page. If Mearns had to play that ball first time, Wadawi was making a run. He just held off and Wadawi pulled back, and that's when he played the pass. And too often that's been the case throughout the first couple of weeks here for the Warriors. Their players don't seem to be on the same page as each other. They've certainly not been as cohesive as the Strikers have. As Mann flicks that one on. Stone plays it through for Gorry. This is looking dangerous. Gorry volleys it, but it's high, wide, and not very pretty from Gorry. He made pretty awful contact with that one, in truth. And
jeez, I tell
well
you
wide.
what, that is a shocking hit. Very nearly sent that onto the Tasman Highway.
Beautiful build-up play. Certainly didn't make the most of it. He'll be disappointed with that one. Gorry needs to put that one on target. Certainly didn't match his teammate Dennehy's effort with the left in the first half when he rocketed at top corner. As we see Vandermeer, well cut out there by Mulroney. Here's Collard. That's a pretty poor pass from Collard. Skews ugly out of play. He's looking for Sam, who's switched again back over to the right-hand side. There's been a lot of chopping and changing with the positions of these Olympia attackers, but they're yet to find the combination that works. Still, the score is 2-1.
A lot of switcheroos, Drewster. Score in the Women's Super League, 4-1 win for Taroona over Clarence United. After leading half-time at 2-1, Parcell with 2 and Bremner with 2.
Flash Parcell. Dangerous player, that girl. Seen her go at it. She's lightning.
It's picked up from Zupa when he more or less helps it out. Big Zupa Duper. Down the line it comes. Ball Sam gets involved. Finds Sharuma. He lets it spill off the Devonport leg and out for another throw-in. Back with Ball Sam. He's in a sea, yellow shirts. In the end it trickles out of play off one of them. Out for another throw-in. Drake there. Thrown in. It's off the back of Smith on that occasion and out for a corner. So Olympia again pressing hard.
Yeah, they've really pressed, but the defensive Devonport has held steady. It's been an impressive showing at the back here from the Strikers. They've sat back. They've been content to sit on this 2-1 lead. And why not? They're not too far away from completing the mission. Here they go again with the reload. It's Shea Hickey. Gets it wide to Ball. He looks up and he's immediately pressured there by Stone. Cuts inside and the support comes. Oh, Ball with a spin, but he's just trying to do a bit too much again. And there's plenty of shirts. Look at them all blocking centrally. That's a lovely ball. Well done, Mulroney. Got a crucial foot on it. It was Vandermeer who charged forward. But for the slightest touch of Mulroney, he was one-on-one with the keeper there, the captain. And they're really throwing bodies forward now. Here's Hickey who's going back there. Everyone else is forward. Oh, the distribution, it's been a real issue for the Warriors, even with the change of keeper. Coming up again there is an issue. As we've got a substitution, do we, in the offing down there on the sideline, I think. Shea Hickey being replaced. Who have we got coming on there, Gilly?
Thomas Bellini.
The youngster coming on. Probably got a bit more legs than Hickey at this stage. Just got 20 minutes to make an impact. This ball is flicked away by the big fella Grattan.
Clock on.
Well, there you go. Our clock has stopped. As Hoy turns.
I reckon someone at Warrior Park just trying to milk a couple more minutes.
My
Doesn't quite work that way.
money's on Marcus.
I've seen him strolling around.
Not a bad strategy. They'd certainly love an extra 10 minutes, that's for sure. So they're not having a lot of luck trying to break him down. Again, they're repelled. Again, attacked out of there. This has been stout defensive work from Devonport. They've come down here with a game plan. It's been brilliantly executed. They're not far away from pulling it off Drake with the overlapping run, but his cross was just a horrible toe straight out of play. Not good at all there from Drake. He'd made the run. It's a tiring Warriors side. Starting to make a few more errors.
Giansopoulos will bring this one back into play. So yeah, Tommy Bellini will inject some fresh legs into this Olympian midfield. Comes along, Mearns heads, Collard picks it up. Only as far as Syson though, who miscues his ball out onto the right flank. Sent long from Hoy to Bobo Sam. Nips in, finds Mearns. To Hoy, to Wadawu, back to Hoy, gets to Bellini at the edge of the box. Hoy fashions a shot. It's a tumbling ball, but it tumbles into the arms of the grateful Giansopoulos. And Devonport again holds strong.
So what, for all the play they've had up in the Devonport box this half, they've not actually conjured too many good chances. A shot from range about as good as it's got lately for them. They've struggled to convert their possession and their territorial advantage into chances this game. This is a thumping header will go through to Joffrey, who just launches it. And there's nobody there. You can just let this one run all the way. Nicky G will gather that one after a little header back there from Zupa Duper. And he'll just send it back the other way. A bit of aerial ping pong here for the time being. Vandermeer competing there with Mann. He's shielded him away from it nicely there, Vandermeer. Now they can reload. Hoy, he's got people running for him. He eventually finds Sharuma wide on the left. He looks up and for him. Goal kick as we again apologise for the technical difficulties out here at Warrior Park this afternoon. Not too long to go. The goal kick. Heave forward. Mearns' favourite for that. He heads it to Bourbon today, Syson, with that. His defensive work has been top notch. He's broken up the play time and time again. That might be it's play on apparently. It looked like a foul. Crosses into the area and hacked out of there by Drake. It really should have been a free kick to Gorry up there. Meanwhile, Mearns wins it back in the middle of the park. He spreads it wide for Gavin Hoy. Wide on the left here. Sends it for Sharuma. Sharuma cuts inside to the box now for Hoy. His pass is overhit, top of the D. He shifts it right to Borbor Sam. Looks to run inside. Borbor Sam tried to curl it near post, but found the side netting only. Dangerous moment. There's the back four of Devonport, perhaps just tiring a little bit. Sam got in behind, wide on the right, but couldn't direct his effort on target. Again, it wasn't the greatest chance though. They've not fashioned anything too clear cut. It's been great work from Devonport. And a lot of credit must go to the Sav. He set them up perfectly, really. They've played exactly how we would have seen this game going, really. They've taken their chances back the other way, and they've defensively been very tidy and very well organised. Here's Hoy in the middle of the park. Long ball over the top, sets Sharuma a task. Too much of a task. And we're going to go back. And we've got Blizzard down on the ground, having a bit of a kip. He won't be in any hurry to get up, I would have thought, given the state of the game at the moment. He stays down. I hope he's all right. Bit of a knock to the head, but I think he's just probably going to be killing time more than anything this late stage of the game. Charlie comes out to have a look. It's 88 minutes on the clock so far. So not long left. There'll be a few minutes of stoppage time. I could see 4 or 5 minutes. There's been quite a few stoppages throughout this half. Blizzard staying down though, and Really, 2-1 looks like it's going to hold. And that was your prediction pre-game, 2-1, Gilly. You'll be pretty chuffed with that if it holds out. You were predicting big things for Devonport, as I touched on before, though. Everybody's kind of rising dark horse team and try to keep a lid on it. Well, I can tell you what, you roll the champions on their home patch, the lid will be well and truly off.
Yeah, the lid's gone, long gone. Though everyone's smoky, but you can't even really refer to them as a smoky anymore. They're just a red-hot chance for this year's title.
Genuine contenders haven't even had to utilise the portress yet, and they're going to be on 6 points after 2 weeks, it looks like.
Yeah, good luck taking points home from Valley Road this season on this showing. Valuable win for them away from home. Stretches out, so clearly there's a bit of cause for concern here. Low blizzard down.
I hope he's all right. I thought he was just milking the clock, but certainly whenever there's a knock to the head, every precaution should be taken. The stretcher is out for him, so we hope Low blizzard is all right. There's nothing that'll keep him out long term, but he'll stay down. He does look a bit out of it. It's a nasty knock to the head. Devonport boys getting a circle. I know it's nearly mission done. They're probably going to have about 7 or 8 minutes of stoppage time to negotiate now, I reckon, after this latest stoppage. And a couple. So it looks like the lightning fast Mitch Blake is going to come on here for a few minutes at the end. So a little injection of pace. He'll be out there just for a few minutes and he'll be pressing and trying to shut down the attacks as Blizzard is stretched off. All the best for him. We hope that's nothing serious. As Blake strides on to take his place in the attacking midfield role, though you'd imagine his duties will be purely defensive heading into stoppage time with a 2-1 lead. Play will finally get restarted here. Devonport City looking to start the season with back-to-back wins on the road. It will be very impressive work. And the Warriors, for all the talk, for all the big signings, the defending champions looking like they're going to be 0-0. Obviously, it is a marathon, not a sprint, so you'd be foolish to write them off, but it's certainly a worrying start to the season for Glen McNeil, and they've certainly got some work to do. They're going to have to turn it around quickly. They did bounce back from a loss against Zebras early last year when people were writing them off, but far from ideal. This is. We've got a few minutes at the end. They can still salvage something out of this game yet. It was repelled by Smith. It's really everybody back now. Smith kicks it out of play. You're going to see a good old-fashioned park bus for the last few minutes. Again, they'll clear. Sison really liked his game today. He's been all over the pitch, breaking up the play. He does so again. Here's Collard. Hoy dropping back deep, wanting the ball. Collard ignores that and will just carry it out himself. Now he plays it into Hoy in the middle of the park. Hoy plays it to Woodzawu. Ball Samson space on the right if they can get it to him. Slow though, and they'll shift the numbers across there. Vandermeer surging forward, gets around Dennehy. Smith across now. It's Vandermeer looking to overlap. Smith with him the whole way. Dinks it inside. Woodzawu first to it. That was sharp. Warren Woodzawu takes a deflection. They'll get a corner. Here come the Warriors.
Getting right towards the end of things, Drewster. These chances are vital.
Everyone from Devonport is in the Olympia box here. They have called them all back as they try and hold this lead. They take the corner short. Warren Woodzawu takes a deflection off man. Might fall for Collard. It didn't. The long range hit was pretty ugly, and Woodzawu stopped his run. If he had kept going, might have fallen into his path there, Warren Woodzawu. He looks to the heavens. Thinking maybe he should have gambled. So a goal kick, which there'll be absolutely no rush to take. Well, Nicky G, his job nearly done here. He launches it long. Burns should win this. He does. Flicks it on. Gathered by Bellini. Smith came off him. Borbor Sam looking to get in behind Smith. Surges towards the byline. What can Borbor do? Not a lot, because Big Zupo was across to sweep up.
The Big Zupa Duper, he's been a rock back there.
Yeah, very impressive.
Long legs, covering the turf real nicely, and of course, been a physical presence when it comes to set pieces. This one could be a key one. It's whipped in from Adawu, a teasing ball, who else but the Zupa Duper under it. He calls his players to chase him down. Gorry keeps him honest, comes back in through Hoy off the head of Collard, and maybe they're out here now, the strikers. Blocked well by Vandermeer. Sison tumbles in, sits for Hoy.
He's the
Hoy
last man
back to his goalkeeper. An unlikely last man in Gavin Hoy. Comes along from Joffrey. Headed away by Zupo. Can't quite pick out Blake. Freshly introduced substitute. It's run back the other way from Collard, who finds Vandermeer. Looks out wide, picks out Ball Sam. Shimmies and shakes and puts it out in front of Vandermeer. He bursts forward, puts a ball into the box, and Grattan, with a little bit of help from Smith, sees it out. Devonport again absorb another Olympia attack.
They're holding on, they're being pressed. They are right back on the line. Man acrobatically away. It should fall for Gorry, who'll just thump it out. He might find touch, that'd be a good result. Kept in by Drake. They'll keep the bodies forward here, Olympia. They've not got long left. We're not sure how many minutes of added time, but the whistle could go. It's a beautiful ball from Wadawu to play in Ball Sam. He's up here and driving again to the byline, and again he wins the corner. Grattan did well. I thought he was going to try and skip inside of him. He went, and in the end wins the corner. And again, they look to take it short. I reckon just whip it in. What can they do? They do have the aerial advantage, though. They've repelled them pretty well today. A floating ball to the back post, and Nicky G was up strongly to clasp that one. And he's been clattered into and draws the free kick. I'm not sure what the
irrelevant anyway. Big Giannopoulos, he's had a good afternoon.
Yeah, very impressive.
He'll be in the conversation for Team of the Week, I would have thought. Very, very good.
I think there'll be a few from this back line of Devonport.
And at the other end, Collard's been superb, I think, for the Warriors. He looks much more at home at centre half for me. Giannopoulos drives along. Mearns wins it in the air. Ball Sam brings it down for Bellini. Looks to thread the needle. Yet again, Grattan intervenes. Longy looks for the spearhead that is Braden Mann. Dennehy keeps alive. Mann wins it in the air, and now it's a foot race. Collard first to it. Oh, he puts it out in front of Vandermeer. Vandermeer out for Drake. Drake has Mann coming on him. And he's got Sison coming in. He manages to get a ball out onto the right-hand flank, but Grattan beats Wadawu to it, and Sison just helps it on its way. It's out now for Gorry. Hits it first time, but Joffrey easily collects. I'm not sure that was the right option there from Adam Gorry.
And acres of space, isn't he?
And he didn't milk enough time. Olympia now back on the ball. Forward through Sharuma. Ball Sam in acres out on the right-hand flank if they can find him. Stone back to help out. Wins in the air. Grattan sees it away. Wadawu into the centre to Sharuma. Looks to hit it. Gorry comes in. Can't help it away. Mearns looking for Bellini over the top. It's down for Hoy and he handles it. And it's a let-off for Devonport, and it might just be one of the final moments in this game.
Jeez, look at them all get around each other there. They're a real team. This Devonport striker side. They're all getting around each other there. Solid defensive work. Big Grattan, I'll tell you what, he's given away the penalty early on, just a few minutes into the game. Could have easily dropped his head, but he's put on a defensive masterclass, as have the Devonport strikers. They've been superb today. They've beaten the champions on their own turf, who's suddenly staring down the barrel of a 0-2 start. The strikers, though, everyone's smoky, are 2-0, and they have firmly stamped themselves as title contenders this afternoon. A very impressive showing. They've come here with a game plan. They've put it perfectly into action, and they will march away from Warrior Park back up the highway. It's going to be a long trip, but it'll be a happy one. They've got 3 points to take back to the Portress.
Bo Blizzard looking sorry and sore there, but I tell you what, he'll be delighted, as will all the strikers. What a win to start their season. They've gone Clarence 2-0 and now 2-1 over the champions at Warrior Park. A ground that the Warriors haven't been beaten at since round 20 of 2014.
Didn't lose here all of last year.
Did not lose. And I tell you what, Devonport have come here and done the job. There's been a lot of talk out of Valley Road that this year is their year to be a contender. They had a real down year last year. I tell you what they showed today, they're definitely in the reckoning for this year's title.
Yeah, absolutely. And the body language of the team, you can tell this is a very tight-knit group. They look absolutely delighted with their work. They're a better team, really, in terms of cohesion, in terms of working for each other, than Olympia were today. Olympia really monopolised the ball in the second half. They didn't create much, though. I mean, there's not many chances of note, despite all the time they had on the ball and in advanced positions. They could not break this back four down. And not just the back four, the keeper was great. Syson was fantastic. Syson and Stone, the work they put into midfield, outstanding. Even Braden Mann tracking back. But there's no one on the Devonport team you could accuse of not really working incredibly hard and tracking back, defending. The work rate of this Devonport team on an individual level is truly outstanding.
Peter Saville having some choice words. He looks fired up. I reckon he's just delighted with what they've just produced. They worked their socks off today, Devonport. They an early penalty. You could have forgiven them for dropping their heads, but they didn't. They got on with the job, picked themselves up. They got on top of the contest, and then when the Warriors came hard, and boy they did towards the end of the game, they held on strong. They were defiant, and they earned themselves a more than valuable 3 points. Devonport, big win for them. They back it up with a cup match on Monday up against the Kimbra Lions. And for Olympia, they host University here on Monday evening. They've got to maybe hope their cup form's a little better than their league form. They're 0-2 for the champions now. Not a far from ideal start to their defence. They'll look to pick up the pieces, Drewster, in the cup.
Yeah, they had a comfortable win over Taruna in the previous round, and University, whilst the last time they met was an absolute classic up one of the best games of last season. But that was up Mount Nelson, I think, on their home turf on a slick pitch. They should be too good for the students, but if they take them lightly, the University is a team that have shown they're more than capable of punching above their weight. They're a plucky outfit, and you're certainly going to need to see a better performance from the Warriors. They've lost the first two, staring down the barrel of an 0-2 start. Not where they want to be, but certainly it is a long way still to go, and plenty of time to turn it around if they can win in the cup and maybe get on a roll and get a couple of wins going.
2 rounds of 21, Drewster. That's the positive for the Warriors. Names on paper, they've certainly got them. They just need to pick up the pieces and try and turn around this form line. They had plenty of the ball, but you got to say, in terms of real clear-cut chances, they didn't have that many.
They didn't have many at all in the second half. But I suppose the thing is, we've seen with how good Devonport were. South Hobart looked good. Zebras looked good. They were run close by Launceston City. Lots of teams capable of taking points off each other this year. It's not like one team's going to dominate and falling 6 points behind them is going to be overly critical, because there's going to be chances that points get dropped all throughout the season, really. But they certainly are going to want to get on the winners list soon.
Drewster, I'll leave you now with a bit of head wobble from myself, because I tipped this one 100% correct. 2-1 to the Devonport Strikers. A big win for the Banana Slugs. They'll hit the highway with boisterous celebration, you'd presume. We'll be back with more action through the weekend. Monday, we've got an absolute blockbuster, Lackaseljet Cup quarter-final between Hobart Zebras and South Hobart. Join us then. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Apologies for some technical difficulties throughout. Bye for now.
Okay. All right.